Players can sign up and use the promo code SPORTS50 and get a $50 free bet today at playalberta.ca. Also, today, there's no NHL. Probably a good thing for Oiler fans because you need a day to lick your wounds. And you know what? Honestly, when you watch the game last night, and I've been saying this for a while, but I think last night really showed you what the real issues are for this team. There's no doubt about it. There needs to be a renewed commitment to defense. It's that simple. We could go through every goal last night, and you can see not little errors, glaring errors defensively for this team, and it's got to be fixed. It has to be. You can sugarcoat it. Look at the plays that they are making defensively at times, like the Martin Netjes goal, which is the 5th goal of the game. It's already 4-1. The Oilers actually have all their men back in the zone. They're all back. Yet, they end up, no one actually takes Netjes. He comes in, he's the late guy. Nobody bothers to shoulder check. These are simple things. Now, I understand if it was a quick bang, bang play, sometimes you're going to get beat. That's going to happen in the course of the NHL. The game's fast. But are you kidding me? Leon Draisaitl comes back in. He's in the right position. All he has to do is look over his left shoulder. Oh, there's Netjes. You know what I'll do? I'll just slide over into the low slot. That's all you had to do. Stares at the puck. They got a bunch of puck watchers. I'm sorry, but that is minor hockey defensive awareness. Okay, it's not good enough. Look at the 3rd goal. Carolina comes in. It's a 2-on-2. They dump it into the corner. It's actually 3-on-3. The Oilers have 3 players. Carolina Hurricanes have 3 players. Broberg and McLeod could not have played that any softer if they tried. They lost the puck battle on the corner. Then they lost the puck battle behind the wall. Then they lost a race to it. Comes in front. Boom. Scores 3-0. Okay? It's not good enough. You have to have a higher level of commitment from your team. Please don't. We can talk trade requests or trade proposals all day long. Oh, bring in a goalie. That's going to solve the problem. No, it won't. Until the team commits as a group to want to play high-end defensive acumen hockey, they're not going anywhere. Not just this year, not next year, not the year after. Okay, now we can go back and look at the foundational issues here, and trust me, the organization doesn't get a free pass. This goes way back to when you brought in young players, and there was not any real, like, no offense, Milan Lucic wasn't the best leader for this group. He wasn't. They didn't have a guy. So Connor McDavid has never known what the true level of accountability is for what defensive is. However, he's now in the league long enough. That's not an excuse anymore. They can look around the league and be like, okay, guys, Leon, you can't make end of discussion. I don't want to hear anything else. You can't make that play. Ryan McLeod, Philip Broberg, you know what? If you lose battles, but you can't lose 3 in a row when it's a 2-on-2 nothing play, right? Matthias Ekholm, you're a veteran. You come in the offensive zone and you try, I don't even know what he was trying to do, spin around, lose the puck. And Connor Brown, you know that Matthias Ekholm is leading the rush. Why are you forcing up to be the 4th guy that high? Sit back. Boom, goes back 2-on-1 the other way, goal. How difficult did Edmonton make it for Carolina to score their goals last night? How hard did Carolina have to work? Right? Think about it. Go through the goals, man. This was not, oh my goodness, what an effort. What just relentless pressure from Carolina that led to the goals. No chance. Okay? So the players can tell me till they're blue in the face that they hold each other accountable. And they might be holding each other accountable, but they're not holding each other accountable to a level that is necessary if you want to win on a nightly basis in the Stanley Cup, or sorry, in the regular season, and especially if you want to win the Stanley Cup. It's not even a discussion. Okay. So don't even tell me that, well, you know what? They need a better goaltender and that's going to solve all their problems. It's not happening. Okay. That's not happening at all. That is not the issue for the Edmonton Oilers. It's a small percentage of it, but you could have Patrick Waugh, Marty Brodeur here. If you're going to leave Martin Netcast wide open and not just get one chance, but get two, and you think goaltending's a problem, give me a break. Right? So now, Chris Knobloch didn't start this problem, but he inherited it, and now it's his problem. And that's the job of an NHL coach. So he's got to figure it out. At some point, and I talked about this, I said the one concern I had that Jay Woodcroft never did was he never held guys accountable with ice time. He never did. Right? Now, you can talk all you want, but none of their best players were ever held accountable for making the bad defensive reads. Like I said, if it's a quick bang, bang play, you're going to make mistakes. They happen all the time. That's not a mistake. Hard work and determination, that's just a level that you want to reach. And they don't have it. They don't have it right now. They might have lost to Carolina anyway because Carolina is a really good team and they kind of beat the Oilers for fun a lot of the times. But when you play like you did last night, that's why it was 4-0 and then it was 5-1. And the game was over. Like, I applaud the diehard Oiler fans who stuck through it and watched the entire game. Good for you. You're a diehard fan. You're probably frustrated. And maybe even when Hyman scored to make it 5-3, you're like, ooh, maybe there's a chance. Because that's fans want to believe there's a chance. And I respect that. But the Edmonton Oilers players, if they truly believe that they can win the way they're playing, they're fooling themselves. Okay? They're lying to themselves. And they don't, whatever their internal standard and level is, they need to increase it significantly. Because it's not good enough. It's flat out not good
enough. How can it be?
How can that standard be acceptable? So we'll discuss that on the show today. Terry Ryan's going to join us a little bit later on. Bronte will be by. Rick Lelacheur, the Edmonton Elks. Interesting announcement today that they have created a 5-person board that is going to be essentially formed to conduct a review of their ownership structure. Now, 3 members of this committee are already on the board, the Eskimo board, Elks board, excuse me. Are they going to have new ideas? I don't know. So we'll talk to Rick about that. He did mention this quote: "The club's financial struggles can't be overlooked. Impacts of COVID, etc. We're confident in our ability to operate in 2024, thanks to our trust fund, strong season seat renewals, and the support of our sponsors. We will, however, need new investment before the end of next season to ensure the club is positioned to succeed for many years." So when you say new investment, what does that mean? Oh, there's really only one. Like, are you telling me that you're going to have a cash call for your ticket fan base? I'm telling you right now, it's not going to work. Right? Your team has lost the last few years. They've made some head-scratching decisions. And I don't think you're going to have now, maybe you look at and do you form a Copper Jackets version of green and gold? And you get some heavy hitters in the business community who care about the community. Because football does matter here. Make no mistake. It matters in the city. It matters to a lot of people. It's a good product. It's fun when you have a good team. But this organization, now the Oilers, of course, because they've made the playoffs 4 years in a row, maybe Sam would say, well, not necessarily the same, but it ain't much different. From 2006 until now, the Edmonton Elks have had about a 4-year run when they looked like a competent organization. The rest has been a tire fire. Sounds familiar, Oilers fans? The difference is the Oilers' 4 years just happened the last 4 years. Prior to that, tire fire. I guess you could say 5 years because 2017 they were good. So since 2007, they've had 5 years. The Elks have had 4. So hockey's a little bit more of a passionate igniter for fans than the football team is. I still think there's lots of people that care about the green and gold. There's no question about that. But does this mean are they looking at private ownership? And if you are, do you have people who want to, like, remember when the Oilers, had the ownership group of 38 now? It's different price point, but still might need 5 or 4 or 5. Now, there's some people with the money who'd want to do it themselves if they want to do it. But talk of a new stadium already? Is a new stadium going to fix the woes of this team? I don't think so. It's a nice thing to have, but that's not why fans have stayed away. It's not the facility. It's the way the organization has been run. It's the lack of success on the field for the organization. Make no mistake about that. Looking at a new facility like that's going to solve all your problems. Look at BC, prime example. BC was in disarray. Did they get a new facility? No. Everyone used to say, it's a terrible place to watch football, until ownership made it a good place to watch football. Right? That's what they did. They didn't spend millions and millions of dollars on a new facility. Right? To me, that's kind of unrealistic. Sure, you'd like a new one, but that's long-term down the road. That's not going to solve the immediate problems of this organization. So we will talk to Rick Lelacheur in the 3 o'clock hour about that. Livingston went by. We'll join by former Elks member, Grey Cup champion Armando Sewell. Talk a little CFL and NFL with him. Spec will be by. Tim Enger will join us. High school football, huge time for provincials. We'll get into that. Lots of football talk. Of course, we are live at the Ice House. So if you've never been here, man, this place is unbelievable. Now, I know you're probably frustrated right now, especially if you're a Lions fan and an Oilers fan. If you're both, it's a real tough time for you. The Lions absolutely gagged on one today against the Packers. But hey, if you're a Cowboys fan, come on down. Washington fan, can watch the game with us here. Then, of course, the late game, Seattle and the 49ers. It should be, on paper, a pretty decent game. We'll see, though. All sorts of prizes could be won. Come down here. Hey, I'll buy you a beer. If you're an Oilers fan, you probably could use one. So stop in here. I know on your way home from work, or maybe you want to step out of work. Come down here. You know where we are, right downtown on 104th, just across from Rogers Place. It's all sorts of great specials. Brennan Douglas will be down here tonight at the Ice House. It's pretty raucous here on a Thursday night. So stop in, have a little bit of fun. As always, we'll get to your thoughts via the text line, 833-401-1440 in our Jiffy Lube inbox. Hey, guys, you keep talking about how a trade won't help, but it can't hurt. Well, I never said it can't. I didn't say a trade wouldn't help if it's the right trade. But I don't believe that if you make one trade, that suddenly all the woes of the Oilers disappear. That's fairy tale story. That's wishful thinking. It's not going to happen because the main core will remain intact. The Edmonton Oilers leadership group needs to sit down. And here's the thing. Matthias Ekholm outlined rather clearly at the end of the season last year in the playoffs how they have to play to win. And again, he reiterated at the start of this year. And you have not seen it. All right. So there you have a guy who's played in the Stanley Cup Finals, who's a defensive. Now, he's not playing great either, coming off an injury, whatever it is. But still, he outlined how to play. And this team still decides they're not going to play that way. And they can say they want to. They can say all the right things, but actions speak louder than words. And any Oiler fan who has watched this season, unless you're watching with the ultimate orange and blue Kool-Aid flavored glasses, you will see a team that has not committed to sound defensive hockey. Not close. Not remotely close. They've gone back to their old ways where they gift goals. And that's why I say to me, this is a deep-rooted issue. Sadly, this season might be lost. I hate to say it. It's November freaking 23rd. I thought the days of talking about next year in Edmonton were gone this early in a season. But they might be. They might be back. But then you have to use the remainder of this season as a core group. A little bit of pain. Maybe you're the 2017 Lightning. You missed the playoffs after some good years. Right? Maybe that's what happens to Edmonton. But they need to wake up and they need to look internally and realize we cannot win playing this way. And stop talking about it and actually do it. Hold each other accountable. Stop looking for, oh, we're going to get a new coach. Oh, somehow a new coach is going to come in and he's going to be the one. Oh, you know what? We're just not maybe being taught the right way. Give me a break. Give me a break. This is basic defensive fundamentals. Shoulder checking. It's not hard. You're taught that from young age. Don't just skate hard back. That's great. Working hard is one element. Working smart is more important. Leon Draisaitl, he's easily in the right position. He didn't even have to exert himself. Just look over his left shoulder. Oh, there's Martin Necas. Okay, I'll just slide over here 6 feet to the left. And as he comes in, I've got him covered. Nothing happens. Then nothing happens. He's probably got the Hurricanes forward, probably pushes the puck back to the point man. And away you go. But look at Carolina's second goal. Again, the Oilers. And there's in their own zone, the puck's on the left wall. McDavid's there, Nurse is there, Draisaitl, and Foegele. 4 of them are on that one quadrant. Why? I don't know. They push the puck back to the blue line. And go watch that replay. That was their second goal where it hit the Carolina guy in front, then ricocheted off the second guy, and then he gets a loose puck and bangs it home. Look at the shooting lane. Nobody's in the shooting lane. That's your responsibility. And what does Leon Draisaitl do on that play? Well, he comes up and then he veers over to the right. Well, maybe this guy's going to pass it. No, Fogel's not in the shooting lane down low. McDavid's on the sideboards. Nurse was in the corner battling the guy. There's no one in the shooting lane. What the hell are you doing? And again, this was not a tic-tac-toe play. This was basic, simple. Carolina has the puck, not even in a dangerous spot. They gave up goals last night that weren't even from stemming at the start from a high danger play, and it resulted in a goal. Like, that's inexcusable. It's not like guys were scrambling after they gotten beat to try to get back in position. And that, to me, illustrates the fundamental problems of the Edmonton Oilers. And it is deep rooted. And this is not going to be fixed easily. It starts with your leaders. That's what leaders have to do. Okay? I'm not expecting suddenly Draisaitl McDavid to be Patrice Bergeron and be a Selke Trophy winner, but you have to have a conscience defensively. And then you have to play to that standard and then hold others accountable. Darnell Nurse, same thing. Got to stop running around. Well, geez, I like trying hard. I like to help out. No, you're not helping. You're not helping out. Stop it. Know your position. Play your position. Win a battle in front. Use your 6'4", 225-pound body to win battles in front. Simple. Ryan McLeod got speed? Well, then win a battle. Use your speed. Win a battle. Philip Broberg, win a battle behind the net. We can go down the list. It's a whole team issue. But if no one wants to hold each other accountable, it's never changing. Okay? That's the problem. It's never changing. So until that happens, trust me, don't keep talking about a trade for a goalie. Okay? I know why people say it, because it's like, well, geez, if we get because sometimes it's easier to want to look at something else rather than focus on what's reality, what's right in front of you, because it's not pretty if you're an Oilers fan. And it's probably not even pretty if you're the Oilers organization. They made the coaching change. Well, guess what? What did we say the day after the coaching change? The chances of this coaching change fixing anything, if the players don't want to be fixed, is minimal. And now that's what we see. They had their little coaches bump. They won 3 games in a row. And I cautioned everybody. I said they beat teams who couldn't score. Seattle and the Islanders. So good for them. They shut them down. And then since then, look how many goals they've given up to Florida, to Tampa, and to Carolina. Teams that can actually score. Shocking. Why? Because the same problems that existed prior to Chris Knobloch are the same problems that exist now. It's a player problem. And if they don't want to fix it, then the organization might have to look at moving some guys out, because you're not going to win with this collective attitude. All right? You need a goalie. Don't get me wrong. You need better goaltending. But you need significantly better commitment to battling, to playing sound defense, and to making smart reads offensively and defensively. Stop turning the puck over off the rush, 3 feet in the offensive zone, and allowing odd man rushes the other way. Stop it. How often do teams do that to the Oilers? How often do the Oilers get a turnover inside their blue line that leads directly to an odd man rush? Can you name any this year? How many? Right? And then one last one, we'll go to break. What in HE double hockey sticks is going on when the Edmonton Oilers? Now, the one beef I will say on the fourth goal, I would argue the Oilers, Connor McDavid, that should have been called a penalty. He got taken down behind the net. Okay? So that's point one. I believe that should have been a penalty on Chatfield all day long. But it's not called. Now look at the play it comes up. It's still a nothing play. But what are the coaches doing? What are the players doing? Why is Vincent Desharnais playing left defense and Brett Kulak playing right defense when the puck was in the offensive zone? What are they doing? They're on their offside. So what happens? Carolina comes up. They recognize, oh, we got a right defender on left defense. Look where his stick is. Middle of the ice. Jarvis cuts to the outside. Desharnais doesn't get his stick there. He doesn't recognize it. Boom, he comes in, scores. That's a save that I need from Skinner, though. I'll say that. Can't be scoring from the hash marks on the wall, for God's sakes. But look at all the small details. Why are you playing a lefty and a righty on their wrong sides? What the hell is going on? You're an NHL team. You're an NHL coaches. You're NHL players. Get your focus better. Like, those are plays that should not happen. The other, heads up play. And Seth Jarvis, to his credit, sees a right-hand defender playing the left side, and they make him pay. And it's just ridiculous time and time again why these things happen. Quick break. We'll return. It's the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, live at the Canadian Ice House, downtown on 104th Ave, just across from Rogers Place. Stop in. We'll buy you a beer.
Are you looking for an affordable business, group, or team outing this season? Why not catch the excitement of a game with five-time Alberta Junior Hockey League champions, the Spruce Grove Saints? With extremely affordable group and suite packages available, and some of the lowest food and drink prices around, Saints games are the perfect night for your next group event. Get your group in on the action. For more information, visit sprucegrovesaints.ca.
When basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal joined the team at Papa John's, he brought some big ideas, but his biggest idea is the Shaq-a-Roni pizza. It's a massive pizza designed to feed big appetites and make a big impact. It comes with 8 foldable Shaq-sized slices, loaded with extra cheese and extra pepperonis. But what makes it really big is that for every Shaq-a-Roni sold through December 31st, 2023, Papa John's donates $1 to Second Harvest to provide 3 healthy meals to people and agencies in need. The Shaq-a-Roni is bigger than pizza. Get yours today for only $21.99, only at Papa John's.
You know, I got into reffing for the excitement.
He's going for the chair!
Turns out wrestling is completely scripted. But you know what's exciting and unscripted? PlayAlberta.ca. With an all-new sportsbook, odds boost, and betting on any game.
PlayAlberta.ca. Go all in on excitement. Sign up today with promo code SPORTS50 and get a $50 free bet. Official gaming partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Hey everyone, it's Kelly here from United Sport and Cycle. United's annual Black Friday sale is on now. Save up to 60% off throughout the store on great gift ideas for the sports fan on your list. United Sport and Cycle, your Santa's workshop for over 95 years.
When you think local, think corporate business solutions. Local service, local support, local always. CBS is the largest Konica Minolta office equipment dealer in Western Canada with a full line of multifunction office devices, printers, mail machines, and software solutions. When you call CBS, you'll speak with a live person located right here in Edmonton, and most issues can be resolved over the phone within 20 minutes or less. Call Corporate Business Solutions today, 780-490-5600, or visit cbsca.com.
Mr. Rooter visits the dentist.
Well, you're all done there, Mr. Rooter. You can spit in the sink.
Hey, Doc, you got a clog here.
Oh, no.
Don't worry about it. I got it. It looks like a long piece of floss with something tied to the end. Why don't you check it out?
Oh, why? It's a birthday card.
You didn't think I'd forget you, did you?
Mr. Rooter, you're the kindest, weirdest man.
To have the plumbing cavity in your heart filled, trust only one man, Mr. Rooter.
It's simply the best time to buy. The Black Friday event is on right now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. You'll save up to a game-changing $7,500 off your purchase or finance as low as 1.49%. Choose from a winning selection of 2023 cars and SUVs like the sleek S60 or the roomy and comfortable XC60s and 90s. Black Friday is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Visit 1205 101st Street Southwest or chat online.
.25 as we continue on. Sports 1440. It's the Jason Gregor Show live at the Canadian Ice House. Stop in, say hello. Man, this thing is huge if you've never been here. And you do have to stop in and just sit in the actual ice house. You can sit in the freezer. It's nice and chilly in there if you want a real cool beverage. Check it out. I am Jason Gregor. We have NFL football, the second game of a triple header. Just get set to go. Washington and Dallas. So Cowboy fans, Commander fans, come on by, say hello. And then, of course, the late one. We'll see there's old Squeaky Brad coming by. We'll see. Seattle taking on the 49ers tonight. Hey, Order fans, come down. We can all discuss. We'll have a round table of how you fix it, because it's not going to be simple. I'll tell you that. As we get to the oil report, brought to you by Volvo of Edmonton, where you can stop in. You maybe need a reprieve. They got great Black Friday deals all the way to the end of the month, where you can get $7,500 off any 2023 Volvo at Canada's best and #1 Volvo dealership, VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. As Ruben Bronte, aka Robin Brownlee. No, he's going to join us at 2:40. All right. Okay, let's go to my guest. Got my sheets wrong. I thought Bailey was 2:40. My bad. It is good because the Oilers are in Washington, and oh my goodness, they're playing a Capitals team who everybody didn't think was going to be good, but has been great defensively. Charlie Lindgren's playing great, and the Capitals are right in the thick of things. Bailey, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me.
I guess, the Capitals for years were always considered a really high-end offensive team. They obviously, with Holtby when they won, they were a good defensive team. But right now, their power play is terrible, but they're winning. That's never really happened in Washington. So what's been the keys for them outside of Lindgren?
No, it really hasn't ever happened. And it's interesting because they're not even really scoring that much at 5-on-5. The power play is catching the headlines because it's the worst in the league. But they're really at 5-on-5, not generating a ton either. And somehow they just keep finding a way. Dylan Strome is their leading scorer with 8 goals and just picked up his second assist of the season last night. So he's starting to pick up the assists now too, which is promising for him. But no, I mean, it's been a really interesting start to the year. They obviously had a really tough start their first 5 games, and then now they're 9-1-1 in their last 11 and kind of just keep finding a way.
Yeah, you know what? They faced Buffalo last night, and they get down early 2-0. You got Zach Benson scoring one of the nicest first career NHL goals I've seen in a while, but they just keep battling back. And really, I think it was the comeback occurred in the last 23 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it did. They really started to tilt the ice kind of after Dylan Cousins put Buffalo back up 3-2. It was the first power play goal they'd given up in a while. I think they were 24 straight penalty kills before that one. So that fired them up a little bit to have that streak broken. Really started to generate more offensively. The first period and a half were pretty sloppy, which has been a problem for them at times this year. When things aren't working for the Capitals, it's often because their touches just aren't quite right. Nothing they're doing is really clicking. Even if they do get in the offensive zone, it's kind of one and done, and they're right back having to break out again, which is also kind of the same problem that the power play has. But last night, they kind of got their horses back under them and found a way late. I really thought last night might have been the night the streak ended. They'd won 4 in a row until then and kind of had found their way to be on the right side of some fine margins. And I thought maybe last night was the night the fine margin would finally turn against them. But this team has continued to prove me wrong this year.
Well, TJ Oshie makes an appearance, scores his first goal of the season. That's what's so crazy about this. Like, their power play's terrible. Oshie had done nothing offensively. You mentioned their 5-on-5 scoring, but they just keep finding ways to win. Even Alex Ovechkin, by his standards, is obviously well below. But did you see a difference in Oshie once he scored, at how, like, maybe, the anvil was removed and suddenly he's moving a lot better?
You could definitely see it in his celebration. That one definitely felt good for him. The first couple of games of the year, he had a lot of chances and it felt like he was due. And then the last few games, the chances had kind of dropped off too. And you could see him getting increasingly frustrated as sort of nothing he was doing was working. So to get that one definitely felt good for him. You could see it in the huge smile in his celebration. Everyone knows that TJ Oshie is a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. So when he's not smiling, it's usually a sign that things aren't going very well for him. And then it was kind of funny. He went right back to being snake bit. It ended up working out for them with the overtime win, but he had a chance with about 5 minutes left where the puck came to him with a completely open net and it went off his skate and kind of skittered along the goal line and never crossed it. So hopefully the goal gets him going a little bit, but it was a little bit funny to see him go right back to being a little bit snake bit in the third period.
Bailey Johnson joins us, beat reporter for the Washington Capitals. Oilers afternoon affair, of course, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving in the U.S. tomorrow. So a boatload of matinee games. And, well, when your team's not scoring, a lot of people will say, oh, man, it's unfair. There's a lot of pressure on the goaltenders and, it's not sustainable. But, man, Charlie Lindgren, now he's made 5 starts. Kemper's made 9. But Charlie Lindgren has been unreal. Even Hunter Shepard in the games that he's got in, like the Lindgren Kemper numbers, Bailey, from a .940 save percentage for Lindgren to an .892 for Darcy Kemper, like it's pretty drastic. Is it fair of an accurate representation of how they played? Is Kemper having a lot of bad luck? Like, how do you explain behind the exact same team such a difference in the save percentage between the two goalies?
Yeah, that's kind of the number one question that everyone here is trying to answer. I do think there's something to it being a little bit of bad luck for Kemper. He sort of, in every single one of his starts, they find a way to give up a grade A chance in the first 5 minutes, and it just kind of gets him started on the back foot. JJ Peterka scored the opener last night, and then Zach Benson scored that unbelievable goal, which is a tough one for the goaltender. And in Lindgren's starts, it just seems like they're a little bit tighter earlier, and that's kind of just a product of the game flow. Spencer Carberry pointed that out last night too, that he thought Kemper was good in the win over Buffalo, and he would like to see his team help Darcy out a little bit more in the early moments of games and let him kind of settle in. There have been a couple games this year that Darcy has played where it kind of gets away from him early, and even if he's good the next 50, 45 minutes, however long it isn't quite enough to make a difference after having a tougher start.
So you look at the Capitals, Bailey, and, a lot of people were wondering, especially with the Backstrom announcement, and, they didn't have all summer to plan for it. They're like, okay, we'll give him a chance. He comes back and it's not working. There was the rumblings, oh, maybe Kuznetsov. Like, are you surprised and how this team is playing? And do you think it's sustainable? Like, is this good, or is this just a hot start that eventually is going to unravel?
Yeah, I'm certainly definitely surprised. And I would say it's mostly unsustainable. But where it gets interesting is you start to think the way they're winning right now with the performances they're getting from Charlie Lindgren, and they've gotten a lot of puck luck as far as the defense. They've been giving up a lot of high danger chances that just haven't been going in. But at the same time, they're also not getting a lot from Oshie. They're not getting a lot from Kuznetsov. Ovi, like you said, by his standards, is off to a slower start. And the power play is at the bottom of the league. So even if the goaltending and the defense take a dip, you could envision a possibility where the offense also starts to pick up and it kind of still keeps them at a decent level. So that's sort of the big question right now, is when those things are going to happen. Because certainly, you expect the penalty kill won't be perfect forever. And they showed that last night as they gave one up. Charlie Lindgren probably won't play like a Vezina winner all year long, though maybe he will. And the question is just sort of when the defense drops off, if the offense is going to be there to pick them back up.
Yeah, I know Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine, he talked last year and said Charlie Lindgren was the guy that he sought after. He feels that, now maybe not a .940 save percentage, but he thinks he's pretty legit. He's been pounding his drum for quite a while. So if you ever want to do a feature on Lindgren, reach out to Kevin Woodley from NHL.com. He's been throwing out a lot of numbers backing up why he thinks he's going to be good. The Capitals, you mentioned, offensively, I was looking at their team. It's not like you find a lot of guys where you say, okay, this guy's really leading it. But Strome has come into Washington and he's fit in very well. Like, he was a player that had taken years to kind of find his game, and he seems to have found a home in Washington. When you talk to him, what is it that it's allowed him to kind of live up to being that number 3 overall pick finally?
I think it was just sort of a time thing and getting the right fit finally. He started to really find his game towards the end of his time in Chicago. And at this point, looks like an interesting decision that they did not give him a qualifying offer and he didn't stick around there. But he, like you said, has fit in right away in Washington. He had a really good season last year. I remember him saying something last season about like he just wanted to be wanted and he feels wanted in Washington, which is certainly true. I mean, he's playing as their top line center right now. He's got 8 goals. He also may only have 2 assists, but in some of the advanced analytics and the things that Sportlogic tell you about the high danger passes, he leads the team. So you would expect those offensive numbers to continue to tick up and him to pick up more assists because he is generally more of a playmaker than a goal scorer. And the other guys on the team have made quite a few jokes about his goal scoring record looking like a Cy Young winner right now. But no, he's fit in really, really well. He really has meshed well with the team. He's meshed well with his role. It seems like Spencer Carberry's more puck possession system fits well with his game. Kind of allows him to cover up some of the things that are still not highlights of his game. Like his skating is never going to be a standout attribute, but when they're playing a more possession style, it allows him to have longer shifts in the offensive zone and not need to be skating around as much.
Bailey, I appreciate the rundown. Happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you had some turkey today and enjoy tomorrow's matinee.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
It's Bailey Johnson joining us, beat reporter for the Washington Capitals, who, man, they just keep winning. They're 9-1-1 in their last 11. This will not be an easy end to the road trip for the Edmonton Oilers. I'll tell you right. Well, no game's easy when you choose not to commit to playing sound defensive hockey. Let's be honest here. We can try to come up with some cool thing to say about the Edmonton Oilers, but the fact is, if you watch last night's game, their standard, their internal level of commitment to defense isn't high enough. And until the players decide to play up to it or create an actual level that's going to allow them to have success, they're not going to win consistently. Yeah, they can beat teams like Seattle and the Islanders, sure. But you're going to beat teams that can score because they'll make you pay for your offensive mistakes or defensive mistakes. And that's what we see in the last 3 games. So it's I know it's maybe boring, but that's just the truth. The Edmonton Oilers, and it starts at their top, man. I know there's been a lot of time people never want to look and point play. Well, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl played together 9 minutes last night. They got outshot 9-0 and outscored 3-0 when they were on the ice together in 9 minutes. Outshot 9-0, outscored 3-0. Not good enough. Contain more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, live at the Canadian Ice House. Stop in, come say hi to myself. Hey, we'll buy you a beverage. You got all sorts of great specials on it. It is, of course, NFL Thursday, the triple header, Washington and Dallas. And if you stay tonight, come for the NFL, your chance, you could win an unbelievable trip. You can go to any season opener of your choice, whatever your favorite team is. You could be at their season opener next year. All the details here today at the Ice House.
Looking to tackle your backyard projects with power and precision this fall? Look no further than Kubota Compact Tractors. Experience the perfect blend of compact size and unbeatable value with Kubota. Right now, take advantage of financing as low as 0% for up to 84 months and save up to $1,500 on select models. Plus, as the temperature drops, get ready for Alberta winters with confidence with Kubota Performance Match snowblowers, sweeper, and blades. Visit Edmonton Kubota today for details.
At The Brick, we're not just proud of this city and its rich sports history. We're proud partners of it. The Brick started right here in Edmonton over 50 years ago. And when we're not cheering on the Oilers and Oil Kings live at the game, or the Edmonton Elks under the bright stadium lights, we're in our stores, providing everything you need to cheer them on in your home. The Brick, supporting Edmonton sports teams and fans since 1971, saving you more.
If you have mobility issues, a residential elevator can allow you to enjoy your home for longer, but finding the right elevator or lift can be daunting. RAM Elevators and Lifts can get you started with 3 simple questions. What kind of space are you installing the elevator in? How far does it need to travel? And are you interested solely in function, or is the look of your lift important? Make your home more accessible with grounded simplicity, elevated design. Learn more online at trustram.com.
Friday nights were made for WHL hockey at Rogers Place, starting at just $20 a seat. Tomorrow night, it's an Eastern Conference throwdown as your Edmonton Oil Kings face off with the Regina Pats. Catch junior hockey at its finest. Plus, at every Oil Kings home game, score kids' food combos for $10 or less. The value is king-sized. It's family fun that's second to none. Edmonton Oil Kings, Regina Pats, tomorrow night at 7. Great family entertainment at Rogers Place starts at just $20 a seat. Save on day of game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
What's better than getting a delicious McMuffin and a medium premium roast coffee? Getting a delicious McMuffin and a medium premium roast coffee for only $4 plus tax. It's your favorite McDonald's breakfast for less. What's better than that? For limited time at participating McDonald's in Canada, prices exclude delivery.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Introducing Carhartt's new Super Ducks technical jackets, re-engineered for today's outdoor worker with Carhartt's latest technologies. Rain Defender to shed precipitation, Rugged Flex Stretch to keep you nimble, Wind Fighter to tame the coldest wind, and more. Carhartt's new Super Ducks have you covered whether you're replacing a roof at -20 or taking the garbage out at 11 p.m. Find yours now at
Shoreside Workwear, tough gear for tough jobs.
Listen to over 500 radio stations from anywhere in Canada with Radio Player Canada, the must-have app that's as Canadian as you are. Friendly, ready to party, great company. Enjoy every type of radio station, anywhere, anytime. Listen through your phone, Sonos, Google Chromecast, Google Home, Amazon Echo, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. Download the Radio Player Canada app today. It's where Canadian radio plays.
Tonight, I'm gonna have myself a real good...
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We've continued developing tools and are excited to announce our newest design, battery-powered nut runners, 4 models from 500 to 3,000 foot-pounds with more on the way. Learn more at cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. The shooting star leaping through the
Welcome back. Thursday edition of the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, coming to you live on Oilers Nation YouTube, and we are at the Canadian Ice House. Of course, a part of the Brew House family. Stop in. It's a Thursday night football. Your chance to win their game day prize, a chance to win a trip for two to any NFL season or home opener next year. Also, Brandon Douglas will be down here later on tonight. You can get the golden ticket, baby. So come on down and say hello just off of 104th, right across from Rogers Place. And you know what? Hey, if you want, you can bring your skates. I noticed they got the skating rink. The Zamboni was out there. Whew, not necessarily sure you're probably going to bring your skates, but just saying it's an option if you choose. It's an option. Now we will go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, where you can stop in right now at McD's because, hey, they got a lot of great deals for you. You can enjoy the Junior Chicken or McDouble with fries and a small fountain drink for only $5.79. The McDonald's McPicks for a limited time only. Check them out. As Robin Brownlee, a.k.a. Ruben Bronte, joins us. And Rubes, it's not good time right now for the Edmonton Oilers. And last night really was the Netchus goal was a prime example of just not doing simple defensive hockey. You can look at 3 of the other 4 goals where there's a lack of necessary work ethic to win in the NHL, a lack of a puck awareness. All the main issues of the Oilers all were at the forefront. Those might have been the easiest 5 goals Carolina has scored this season. And until the players decide, like, am I wrong? I think this is a player issue. Until the players decide collectively as a group to raise their standard of commitment, I don't care. You can make some trades. I'm not saying the lineup's perfect. Obviously, you have to make trades, but the trades aren't going to solve anything unless you suddenly bring in some guy who's going to come in there and maybe tear some paint off the room to get the players' attention.
You know, you are not going to teach things like awareness no matter what system you use. And I look at that play last night with Ekholm, who's normally a very reliable defense first guy. I don't know what he was doing with that pass, but if he's going up the ice like that, at some point, doesn't somebody else say, Matthias is going up ice, I better take care of business back here and cover for him? To me, that's not system. That's NHL caliber thinking. Man, it's under 16 caliber thinking. You get taught that way back in minor hockey. When to go, when to woe, when to cover. And that's not happening. That one stuck out to me because Ekholm's been involved in a couple of difficult plays this year plays that we didn't see all of last season after he arrived. The Netchus goal, it was like I don't know what, like a government highway job or something where everybody was standing around, but they weren't working. They were leaning on their shovels, and Nate just puts the puck in the net. I mean, everybody's there, but nobody's doing anything. Systems don't teach that. Being aware means you don't let a guy tiptoe in like that and put the puck in the net while you're standing around. So it's time after time, game after game, we're seeing 1, 2, sometimes 3 or 4 examples of this kind of defense, Jason, or lack of defense. And what I was noticing, listening to all the interviews online, nobody's got even any answers, and talking doesn't solve the problem. But at least where they say something that sounds reasonable, they're just kind of like mumbling and fumbling right now. Nobody's got any idea what to do, and that includes, at least my opinion, the new coach. He looks like a deer in the headlights out there to me.
Yeah, and we had said from the get-go, I didn't think the coaching change was going to solve the problems of the Edmonton Oilers. And man, if it ends up making worse, oh my goodness, Jeff Jackson, Ken Holland, and Ken Holland is not he's not excused in the roster construction of this team, right? They got smaller in the offseason. They got less aggressive in the offseason, and they weren't a very good defense. I know they'll point. Everybody likes to point to the small sample. Well, look at the final 32 games. Okay, what about the playoff games? Look how many goals you gave up in the playoffs. So your team defense wasn't good enough, but you ran back the exact same blue line core. So to not point some blame at the management and the construction of this team, to me, is foolish. Like, you know what? And the problem is now to try to fix it in season is extremely difficult when you have no cap space and you got a $5 million anvil sitting in the minors. Like, I'm not sure, how you do it. Like, but here's the fact: you better try something, because this season is teetering on the brink. If it's not, some say it's already gone too far, but they're definitely teetering on the brink. And 2 or 3 more losses, and you're like, oh my God, you're looking ahead to next season already, which is flat out embarrassing at the stage of where this organization is.
Well, you're not going to get anywhere, and I know frustrated fans don't want to hear this. You're not going to get anywhere by turning over 20 or 30% of the roster. You're not sending out 4 or 5 guys for 4 or 5 new guys. You don't have the margin to do that. Okay, everybody in, this will change things. Let's learn the system. You've got professionals who have shown before, who showed last year, or have shown at times, even if it wasn't here, but on other teams. They know how to play. They know how to commit. What I don't get is how I don't know if it's comfort level or thinking you're pretty good and satisfied with yourselves, and then before you realize it, you've dug yourself this deep hole like they have now. I don't look at any player on this roster, Jason, and correct me if I'm wrong. There's some marginal guys, but I didn't look at any guy they brought in and say, oh, he can't play in the National Hockey League. He doesn't know how to be respectable defensively in the National Hockey League. This guy's got no chance. What are they thinking? Now we get 18 games deep into the season, and everybody's saying these guys don't look like they can play in the National Hockey League. Well, they've shown before they can. They're just not showing it now. So how do you crack that nut? I don't know. This isn't a bunch of guys who are in their first year of professional hockey.
No, not at all, as Robin Brownlee joins. And to me, that's the big issue. Like when you look, and I understand that confidence is a factor. You start, you start pressing, so I understand all that. But every team has talked about this forever. When you're struggling, you go back to your foundation. And the Oilers right now, I don't believe they have a foundation. That's their problem. Like, we've talked about this for years. What's the identity of the Oilers? Do you want to know what the truthful identity of the Edmonton Oilers is? The truthful identity of the Edmonton Oilers is they will gift easy goals, because that has been the consistent for the last 7 or 8 years. They can be dynamic at times. No question. We've seen it. They can, you know what? They've got some obviously high-end offensive players for sure, but that's not a team identity. The Oilers' identity, I don't care if it's their first line to their fourth line, their first pairing to their third pairing, they will gift easy goals. That's their identity. And they don't want to seem to admit it publicly ever. They'll always, we believe in ourselves. We believe what we have in the room. We hold each other accountable. Well, how do you hold each other accountable if the same mistakes continue to happen? I don't see how you can honestly say to yourself, you're holding each other accountable.
You know what? That is team speak for, you get the same questions after a while. You keep making the same mistakes. You can't get upset at the people asking the questions because you keep doing the same thing, but you don't hold each other accountable. I was in National Hockey League dressing rooms for a long time, Jason. You've been in them for a long time. To me, it's sometimes it's a way of saying, yeah, we'll take care of ourselves. Accountability in professional sports comes down to a couple things. You want it to start with the player who, I need to do this. I'm getting paid good money to play a game. I'm a professional. I take pride in being a National Hockey League player. But if that isn't enough, if the player isn't doing it from within, accountability, the coach holds accountability in the palm of his hand. Sorry, son, you're not playing. Take a seat. Sorry, son, you're not dressing. Go upstairs in the press box and get another look at the game, and maybe you can get yourself sorted out. Accountability is coaching, and minutes and playing time are the currency. And I don't see the coaches here. Jay Woodcroft, who I think was a wonderful coach in many ways, but I don't see that accountability in place by take a seat, you're not playing. It's easy to say it. I'm not seeing it happening from the coaching staff on down.
No. So Connor Halley and Jeff Jackson I don't think they could just do nothing. Although I guess maybe they could. And then the players don't solve it. They'll make some moves. And so then Brown's bonuses aren't bonus overages and they won't count for next season. And you just use this as a write-off. You're like, I can't believe after 18 games, that's their mindset. So I know there's lots of rumors out there. Corey Perry's been out. He's a healthy scratch. The team said, they'll have a comment on it later. Like, how often do players in November get healthy scratch because of a trade? Honestly, right? Because if the trade was that close, it would have been announced already, right? And then he doesn't practice the next day. Like, I think there's something else going on that's not trade related to that. He's also making $4 million, even if Chicago retains 2 of it. I'm not sure that's a great help for your team at this point, cap wise, right? I think Corey Perry's Stanley Cup pedigree, he's a committed player. Corey Perry I think he would bring some angst to your team, no question. But, unless it's like a massive trade that has lots of other parts, and, it would be good to talk about. But even then, unless Corey Perry can come in here and convince the core group, the guys who play the most minutes, your top 6 forwards, your top 4 defensemen, to play more sound defensive hockey all over the ice, I don't think it's going to matter.
You know what? I agree, Jason, because here's the thing. The problem here, one of the problems here, I think Corey Perry's got some game left. He's always been a pain in the arse to play against, and he's a talented guy. He's good. He's been good enough to be an MVP. But you can bring a guy in for part of one season at this stage in his career. Can he walk in after 18 games after 2022, whenever a deal might happen, and convince a core group, most of whom, if you look at Nurse and Draisaitl and McDavid, have been together 6, 7, 8 years. You can add Kane to the core group, not there as long. Hyman is now a member of the core group. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a member of the core group. But I don't know if a guy comes in the first couple months he's playing for your club and has a lot of sway with a core group that's been around together as long as this one has. Maybe he could. I don't know. Matthias Ekholm came in and seemed to do a pretty good job settling down his defensive partner last year and settling down the defense as a whole, or maybe just the lessons took in concert with his arrival, and he got some credit that for something that would have happened anyway. But I don't know. I don't think bringing in one guy is going to make a difference unless he can stop pucks. That's all the leadership you need from a guy who plays in the blue paint is just stop the puck. Everything else will take care of itself. Easier said than done. We know they're looking at that, but I don't know. This group of guys have been playing the core of this group have been playing hockey, obviously the way they want to play it. They've played it for Todd McClellan, and they've played it for Ken Hitchcock and Dave Tippett, and now Jay Woodcroft, and now they're playing the way they want to play for the new guy. Can we really expect much change if there's not going to be change in the lineup? And that's the catch-22. I just said I don't think you can swap out a bunch of guys. So if you can't swap out a bunch of guys, and the guys you've got aren't going to change, you're kind of between a rock and a hard place. And until somebody does something to prove it different, I wonder if there's going to make any changes at all, or if it's just going to be more blah, blah, blah as the season goes down the plumbing.
Roots, have yourself a good weekend. We'll see if the Oilers, I got games Washington and Anaheim, and man, come Monday, maybe there'll be a glimmer of hope, or could be a real tough pill for Oiler fans. We'll see. Happy Thanksgiving for if you're enjoying the football. There you go. That's Robin Brownlee.
Thanks, Jason.
Join us every Monday and Thursday here on Sports 1440. When we return, we've got lots more. We're going to hear from Rick Lelacheur talking about the Edmonton Elks ownership structure, what has to change there. Very interesting stuff. After Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by BIE Engineering, specialized in all your residential, commercial, and industrial structural engineering needs. Go to BIEENG.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
No games on the ice tonight in the NHL. Due to American Thanksgiving, of course, it all gets going again tomorrow. 15 games on the schedule, including the Oilers. They'll be in Washington to take on the Capitals. That one's starting just after 1 o'clock Mountain Time. Chicago Blackhawks forward Taylor Hall is expected to miss the remainder of the season as he undergoes surgery on his right knee. Hall has 2 goals and 4 points in 10 games this season, having previously missed time with a shoulder injury. The Edmonton Elks have put together a committee to review their ownership structure. The goal of the 5-person committee is to ensure professional football continues to thrive in Northern Alberta, the Elks said in a statement today. Elks interim president and CEO Rick Lelacheur says that the club's financial struggles over the last several seasons can't be overlooked. He will join us on the program in about 20 minutes' time. In the NFL, 3 games on the schedule today right now in the first quarter. Commanders and Cowboys currently scoreless. Earlier today was the Packers knocking off the Lions 29-22. The late game tonight has the Seattle Seahawks hosting the San Francisco 49ers. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Elks CEO and President Rick Lelacheur, as well as Colin Livingston in the Cantor Racing Report. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
How do we do it? Well, at Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we invest. Our money and time goes right back into technology and training, and it's all designed to get you back into shape. We invest in people, the people who really care, and they understand how your body works. Then they combine their experience, training, and skills to work with you to help you solve your issues, be it pain in the back, neck, arm, shoulder, heel, literally head to toe. Leading Edge Physiotherapy, always taking new patients because we keep fixing the old ones. Life shouldn't hurt. Find us at leadingedgephysio.com.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Some things just work together. Sticks and pucks, cleats and AstroTurf. Your love for the game and Papa John's passion for better ingredients, better pizza. Nothing pairs with the game like Papa John's. Crafted with signature sauce, toppings, and original fresh dough. They're the champion of pizza. And now you're the champion of winning deals. Just order at papajohns.ca. Use promo code SPORTS20 and score 20% off any regular menu price order. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. That's SPORTS20.
Rodeo clowning felt like an exciting opportunity. Boy, was I ever wrong. The bulls. So predictable. But you know what's exciting and unpredictable? PlayAlberta.ca. I can bet on any sports game, play online casino games anytime, and buy lottery tickets anywhere.
PlayAlberta.ca. Go all in on excitement. Sign up today and get over $100 in welcome bonuses. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Looking to tackle your backyard projects with power and precision this fall? Look no further than Kubota compact tractors. Experience the perfect blend of compact size and unbeatable value with Kubota. Right now, take advantage of financing as low as 0% for up to 84 months and save up to $1,500 on select models. Plus, as the temperature drops, get ready for Alberta winters with confidence with Kubota Performance Match snowblowers, sweeper, and blades. Visit Edmonton Kubota today for details.
Put on your party pants, pal. New Year's Eve lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. Tickets on sale now for a special New Year's Eve event extraordinaire. For $19.99, fill your belly at the pizza buffet and wet your whistle with $3.99 well highballs and domestic bottled beer. Let's pop the top with some bubbly and hit the dance floor to ring in the new year the right way. Tickets on sale now for lots of cheer and one hell of a happy New Year's. Visit thecanadianbrewhouse.com for info.
Being on this road together means saving twice during the Fountain Tire Road Ready sales event. Save up to $225 on a set of 4 select tires. Plus, get a bonus $50 off any service until December 16th. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Ugh, fine print.
There's nothing like having a little skin in the game to make things interesting. But when a little skin becomes more than you can afford to lose, it's time to take a break from sports betting. Set a budget and stick to it. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Roger Weert and his team at Weert, Pearson, Akel and Associates Private Wealth Management, helping business owners and professionals build, protect, and enjoy their wealth. Earn more now and call Roger and his team at 988-4119.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 live on Oilers Nation YouTube as we are coming to you live today from, of course, the Ice House downtown. Stop in. It's a Thursday day and night football. Of course, Thanksgiving to all of our American friends or maybe Americans who are now residing in Canada. It's a pretty big day for them. Lots of turkey, food, family. And football, Lions, they continued their trend. I probably saw the greatest tweet earlier today. We'll get to that about the Lions and why they were going to lose. I wish I would have read it before I made a bet on the Lions, but they lose and continue their struggles on specific moon days. We'll tell you about it. Also, get down to the Ice House today, right now. Of course, Cowboys and the Commanders are going at it. The late night game has the 49ers and the Seahawks. Stop in, come say hi. I'll be here doing the show. Brandon Douglas will be here after tonight hosting. You got the giveaway, the golden ticket, where you could be entered the draw to win a chance to go a trip for two to any NFL home opener next year. Anyone you want. Maybe the Super Bowl champ wins and you want to be there? Well, guess what? You can. So stop in. All sorts of great prizes and giveaways as well tonight. They give away a lot of good food too, a lot of steak. Oof. And hey, you know what? Come in if you're feeling down, Oilers fans, and you just need an escape because there's no hockey tonight. There's only football. If you need an escape for a day off just to breathe, come down. Hey, I'll get you a beverage of your choice. Just come up and say hi here at the Ice House. We will have Rick Lelacheur joining us in about 15 minutes' time. The Elks have created a 5-person committee to do a deep dive on the ownership structure. Are we going to see, is it going to be, are they going to look for a group of people to buy them? Will it be they own a part of it and you get a private owner to own a part of it? Kind of interesting stuff. Something you've never really heard discussed before for the green and gold, but that's where they are at right now. So we'll get to that. As always, get your text coming in 833-401-1440 in our Jiffy Lube inbox. Be wise. Be sure to winterize because you know what's coming. Don't wait till it's too late. Then you can't get in. Go now at jiffylubeservice.ca. So, Gregor, you suggest the players start ragging on each other, point blaming each other? Will? No, Will. I never once uttered those words. Holding people accountable isn't ragging on them. It's setting a standard and then saying, this is the standard that we're going to live up to. We're going to abide by it. In your household, do you have a standard of rules? Now, do you yell and scream at people when they don't do them? Or you just say, hey, that's not acceptable in our household. Could be a simple thing like make your bed. Right? There's very simple things to do. In the NHL, if you think in pro sports, the best teams hold each other accountable. You can't expect a coach to come in and be like, you guys better play this way, and everything's on the coach. It's not how it works. Okay, not for good teams anyway, because a coach can only do so much. And every successful coach will tell you that. Right? It comes down to the fact that this team's level of accountability isn't high enough. Or their standard of what is acceptable defensively, puck management, effort, it's not high enough. The results don't lie. They're 5-12-1. Right? They're leaking goals all over the ice. And I know everybody wants to say it's just goaltending. Goaltending's a factor, no question. Do the Oilers need better goaltending? For sure. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. But the Edmonton Oilers, the only team in the league that has allowed more goals is the San Jose Sharks. That's it. No one else. It's not just goaltending. I'm sorry. It's not. The Oilers are one of the worst teams in the league at allowing shots from the slot. They're 31st. You know who's worse? The San Jose Sharks. Now, is that all in the goalie? The team that gives up the most shots in the slot has the highest goals against average. The team that gives up the second most slot shots, which is the most dangerous place on the ice, they have the second worst goals against average. It's not just the goaltending. Okay? I'm sorry, but it's not. Hey, guys, what's a realistic return for Nugent Hopkins, Nurse, and a first? Joe Daddy. Joe, honestly, I can't even address that answer because it's unrealistic. Two of those guys have to waive a no movement and waive their no trade clause. Right? It's probably not happening. Because top teams don't make blockbuster deals like that during the season. So if you make a trade like that, it's most likely you're going to go to another team struggling, bottom feeder. And our Nurse and Nugent Hopkins going to waive their no movement clauses to go to Columbus or San Jose or Chicago or other bottom feeders? I doubt it. So it's really not it's not feasible. Lots more text line in 833-401-1440. I understand the frustration, but I think we have to stay realistic. Okay? I can't give you a realistic trade option because those aren't realistic. Those trades don't happen in November. Trading out $14 million in cap space, right? Like, we got a lot of people saying, hey, why are the Oilers so scared? They got 2 best players in the league. Why not just trade whatever it takes to get Carter Hart? Now, I think people are underestimating how bad Jack Campbell's contract is. Okay, Jack Campbell had an .886 save percentage last year. It's lower this year. He has 3 years remaining at $5 million AAV. 3. He's $13.5 million in money owed the last 3 years. That's not even including this year. We're not even halfway through this year. Add in this year, and it's close to $16 million in actual cash that a new owner has to take on for a player who is in the American League. Right? 2 first-rounders probably is what it's going to cost. Just to then the rest of the trade is, okay, now we'll do player trades. Just to get rid of Campbell is that. Okay? You have to be realistic in thinking what shipping out Jack Campbell will mean for the Edmonton Oilers. It's not going to be, it's going to cost a boatload. Right? A boatload. I know people are like, well, Corey Perry and Mrazek for Campbell in a first. What? Why is Chicago making that trade? Why? There's zero reason Chicago's making that trade. Come on. Right? It's not happening. Hey, guys, who holds McDavid and Draisaitl accountable? They're -3 and 4. They're leading the disaster. They have to set the example, but don't seem capable of it. JR and Red Deer. Well, JR, it's funny. When you listen to – so here's an example. I believe it's the best players hold each other accountable. Right? You can go back to the Oilers of the 80s, but people don't want to talk about that, which is fine. So let's look at recent teams who won. Look at Chicago. Jonathan Toews, Brent Seabrook, Duncan Keith, they held each other accountable to their play. Remember Brent Seabrook leaning in the penalty bench, hey, JT, we need you. Calm the bleep down. Right? That's good leadership. You know, and I think, I don't know why people, and maybe it's because our society thinks being held accountable is some like sort of negative that requires you to have to yell and scream and insult someone. No, it isn't. Now, is it going to be, could there be disagreements? Could it be vocal in the locker room at times? Of course. But you can't play pro sports and have a thin skin and expect to win. You can't do it because the best teams hold each other accountable. The LA Kings, Dustin Brown, Drew Doughty, Kopitar, they get in each other's grill at times because you have to. Because when you're competitive and you want to win, you have to create the standard, and then you have to let the others know that they're not living up to it. And last night, like, I'm sorry, whether it's Matthias Ekholm, I don't dare somebody, when it's 4-0, Zach Hyman, you stand in that room, Connor, Leon, this is not accept, man. We need you guys to be better defensively. No one's talking about their offense. Be better defensively. Last night, when they were together on a line in 9 minutes, and the coach eventually split them up, in 9 minutes together, they got outscored 3-0. They got outshot 9-0. Okay, it wasn't good enough. It's not good enough. Okay, this doesn't mean that they're bad players. It means they're not playing up to their capabilities, and they're definitely not holding each other to a standard of success, right? That's how you word it. Say, do they want to win? No doubt they want to win. I have no doubt in my mind that they want to win. I don't question it for a second. They want to win. But right now, they're not doing the things necessary to win. That's their problem. They're just not. So they got to be better, guys. Like, there's no... And I'm using them right now because that's the most recent game. We could go to Evan Bouchard. We could go to Darnell Nurse. You can go to Zach Hyman. You can go to Ryan McLeod. You can go to Broberg. You can go to Desharnais. Like, go down the list. This is an infection that is deep rooted in the team that needs to be better. Hey, Greggs, you can't tell someone to be better when you're not doing it yourself. I agree wholeheartedly. Right? And that's why it's not even good leaders. You have to know how to word it. You don't just come in here and say, be better. Because what does be better mean? It's sitting there and in film room the next day when they show the Netchus goal. You can say, Leon, you got a shoulder check there, man. Now, if Leon wants to get defensive, then that shows me that he doesn't want to win. I'm not saying he's doing that. I'm just saying, hypothetically, that's what it would show me. Doesn't want to win. Right? So take pride in your own individual game first. That's what has to happen. Every player, look in the mirror. Yell at the guy in the mirror. Because right now, there's no player on their team who I believe can look in the mirror and say, you know what? I've been really good defensively. I am doing my job all the time. Right? Because trust me, now mistakes happen. That doesn't mean you're perfect. But it means the simple, basic level of execution is going to be there. And executing defensively is just as important as executing offensively. Right? Hey, guys, the craziest thing is people talk about the Oilers' defense isn't getting dangled. They aren't getting walked. They don't get beat wide. Then the forwards can score. This is just flat out ridiculous. It's easy to play structured and slow-paced defensive hockey. Don't take chances from Mitchell. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes the other team, we've seen Connor McDavid dance around guys where the other player doesn't make a bad play. He just gets beat sometimes. But look at the goals last night. I think last night's a prime example. That just didn't have to beat anybody. All he had to do was slide into the slot and have nobody cover him. It's a weak play. Look at their the second goal. The puck goes around the net. It's in the corner. All they do is a very simple play. They push it back to the blue line. Then the Oilers don't have anybody in the shooting lane. They overload to that side. No one's in the shooting lane. Pensman takes a shot. It hits one body in front. And, oh, by the way, the Oilers had one guy in front of the net. One. The other four were all in the left circle. Go watch the replay. So those are not plays that you're like, wow, got to tip our hat. They made a good play, right? Sometimes a guy will work really hard and he'll get fortuitous bounce. That's okay. None of those plays happened last night. The Oilers have a 3-on-3 down low. They get out muscled, goal. Like, it's ridiculous. Other goal, they have complete control of the puck in the offensive zone. Matthias Ekholm, inexplicably, I don't know why, decides a button hook. Fake a shot, button hook, lose control, boom. Connor Brown has jumped up in the play. They go by it. Now it's a 2-on-1 goal. Right? So it's brutal. Hey, Gregor, it feels like nothing can be done. Oh, no, trust me. Something can always be done, Kyle. Right? But it's hard. I think the Oilers took the easy way out by firing the coach. And I said that. I think I'm being consistent. Now, the coach wasn't perfect. I also said that. I felt the coach who'd been here for 120 games, you had enough runway now to start holding your top guys accountable, and he didn't do it. It's hard for the new coach in 5 games to do it. But by the time they get to their December 1st break, when the Oilers get 5 days off, by then it's 10 games. We saw Ryan Huska do it in Calgary, and look at how Huberdeau responded. Right? Patrick Laine got healthy scratch. What did he do? He responded with a goal last game. These are rookie coaches. It's not comfortable, but you can do it. It's always a last resort to want to bench guys, but you can do it if you have to. So Knobloch, he's assessing, but at some point you got to come down. You're not supposed to be the players' friends as a coach. You want them to respect you, but they need to show they respect you and they respect their teammates by playing hard. So I don't know. Hey, guys, Holland's not going to do anything. They need a master shakeup and a retool here, and he doesn't have it in him, especially in his last year, from Matt. Well, is Ken Holland the guy running the show? I think Jeff Jackson should have it in him. He's freshly new on the job, right? He should be fired right up. There should be no fatigue for Jeff Jackson here. None whatsoever, right? Now, maybe he doesn't have this experience to facilitate trades, but Ken Holland does. So, yeah, you got to make something work. No question about it. You got to make change because now, again, though, one change won't solve all the problems. But I think 2 things can happen. You can make a change, but then still demand your core group to raise their level and raise their standard of what is acceptable defensively. Both need to happen. A trade won't fix everything, but they do need a trade. They got to solve their goaltending problem. I'm sorry, Calvin Pickard is not an NHL goaltender. Okay, he's not. It's 2 games he's played. He's had 2 goals go right through him. Okay, so he's not. Stuart Skinner is struggling right now. That's obvious. That Jarvis goal can't go in. That should be a save all day. Now, the other goals, I don't blame them on. They're still losing the game. But you need better goaltending. You can tell me that trades are hard. I understand they're hard. Well, guess what? Being a GM is hard. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So don't take the job and then tell me that it's too hard. Can't do that. You just can't. Find a way to figure it out. We'll come back. Rick Lelacheur has a tough job right now. The Elks, their organization, they've had a tough run. What's going to change? We'll find out next on the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 live on Oilers Nation YouTube, coming to you from the Ice House, downtown 104th Ave, just across from Rogers. Stop in. Of course, Cowboys are currently leading the Commanders, as we expect, but they have the big come down for some afternoon football, some great specials, food and drink, and then the Thursday nighter where you could win a chance, a massive prize, baby, if you're looking for a great road trip. Tell you all about it here at the Ice House.
At Wolf GMC Buick, all Denali's are on sale. Terrain, Acadia, Sierra, Yukon, all Denali's are on sale. Get special 0% financing for 48 months on all remaining Sierra Denali half-tons because all Denali's are on sale. I'm not kidding. Every in-stock 2023 GMC Denali is on sale. All Denali's are on sale. Hurry into Wolf GMC Buick for the best selection. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy because all Denali's are on sale.
A premier hockey solution with a clear path for long-term development is proud to be entering its 7th season of independent borderless hockey, featuring provincial and cross-province competition with showcase style, regular season gameplay, and a strong commitment to individual skill development. It's an attractive option for those seeking family life balance. The Hockey Super League offers opportunities for both male and female athletes, born between 2011 and 2016. Visit hockeysuperleague.com for more information.
Action Electrical is expanding throughout Alberta. With the recent acquisition of Big Hill Electrical Services in Cochrane, Action Electrical is the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta. What does this mean for Action Electrical and Big Hill Electrical Services? It means that they are able to support their clientele all over Alberta with the same high level of professionalism and integrity. From conception to completion and beyond, throughout Alberta, contact
the professionals
at actionelectrical.net today. That's actionelectrical.net.
It's simply the best time to buy. The Black Friday event is on right now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. You'll save up to a game-changing $7,500 off your purchase or finance as low as 1.49%. Choose from a winning selection of 2023 cars and SUVs like the sleek S60 or the roomy and comfortable XC60s and 90s. Black Friday is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Visit 1205 101st Street Southwest or chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com.
Your furnace is broken. Legacy Heating and Cooling will give it a good talking to and make it smarten its act up right now.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If your furnace is disobedient and refuses to heat.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you just want some peace of mind this winter.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Plus, Legacy never charges overtime rates. Always call Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At The Brick, we're not just proud of this city and its rich sports history. We're proud partners of it. The Brick started right here in Edmonton over 50 years ago. And when we're not cheering on the Oilers and Oil Kings live at the game, or the Edmonton Elks under the bright stadium lights, we're in our stores, providing everything you need to cheer them on in your home. The Brick, supporting Edmonton sports teams and fans since 1971, saving you more.
What's better than getting a delicious McMuffin and a medium premium roast coffee? Getting a delicious McMuffin and a medium premium roast coffee for only $4 plus tax. It's your favorite McDonald's breakfast for less. What's better than that? For limited time at participating McDonald's in Canada, prices exclude delivery.
7. Happy Thanksgiving to all of those who celebrate it today. I know many Canadians maybe celebrated just by watching the football. Of course, Washington just got on the board, so no goose egg today as they're taking on the Cowboys. And it's been rather low scoring thus far. We'll see if the offense picks up or not. But, man, what is picking up is the text line. 833-401-1440. People are fired up. We are live at the Canadian Ice House. It's Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Come in, stop in. Of course, we're here till the end of the show, maybe a little bit longer. Brandon Douglas will be by. Of course, Thursday Night Football, which has the 49ers and the Seahawks. Your chance to win all sorts of great prizes, great specials on food and beverage as well. So come say hi. And, hey, you know what? I know you're probably frustrated right now. Hey, maybe we'll get you beverages to, make you feel a little bit better. Why not? In the meantime, let's get to the football report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling Home. The no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter at legacyheating.ca. We are joined by the interim president and CEO of the Edmonton Elks, Rick Lelacheur. Rick, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Good, Jason. How are you?
Hey, Rick, I'm better than the Oilers right now. They are struggling for sure. You guys made an announcement today. You have a new 5-person committee that's going to report to the board about basically looking at the structural organization of the ownership of the Edmonton Elks, which is currently a community-owned team. So I guess, does that mean all options are on the table here?
Yes, totally. All could be private owner, could be a group, it could be the community-owned shareholders that want to get involved. We're not going to prejudge any decision. We're going to see what the interest is from all various different groups, and we'll go from there.
So how would you find out, when you say the community, in what sense could the community be involved?
Probably as a group, Jason, to the organization of the club right now is it's a not-for-profit corporation under Part 9 of the Alberta Corporations Act, and it really means I don't even know how many. We've got about 75 shareholders that each have put up $10 to be a shareholder, and they get to come to the annual general meeting once a year and vote for the board of directors. That's really how it's structured. So. A community group could be a group of maybe some of the existing shareholders, maybe the not existing shareholders, a group of Edmontonians that want to ensure football carries on for a lot of years, or it could be an individual, or I guess it could be a corporation. We're wide open to looking at what the alternatives are.
You had mentioned about the facility, and you look at Saskatchewan and Winnipeg, but you were in BC, Rick, and they didn't change their facility at all, but they changed their ownership group, and he came in with a new direction, and now they're thriving. So is a new facility more of like, well, that would be nice to have, but is not necessarily, one of the top things that's needed?
Yeah, for sure. It would be great to have a stadium like Saskatchewan or Winnipeg or Hamilton or Ottawa. I know that's not going to happen overnight. It's just Commonwealth Stadium has played a great part of this community, and it's getting pretty close to 50 years old. It's had some upgrades, updates over the years, but it's not the same as what's needed for CFL football going forward. But I know it's not going to happen overnight. And you're right. You can, we announced the closure of the top deck, and with that, if we just use the lower bowl, 31,000 it can hold. So it's still the third or fourth largest stadium in the CFL. So I believe we have some great fans here, and by closing the top deck, it'll be a lot more for game day promotion, game day excitement, fan experience. It's going to be a lot better for our fans.
So, Rick, you were here before, then you were in BC, so you've seen other ones. When I look at this organization, it's not just being a 1 or 2 year issue here. This is being kind of an ongoing one. People have talked about, I've talked to people who used to be on the board, and they're like 15 years ago, they talked about how the the main fan base was getting older, and they still talk about it, and not much has changed. So even if there's a change in ownership, is it fair to say there needs to be a change in direction of how the organization runs?
Well, there might be some. I think I'd argue a bit with you that we have made some gains with the younger crowd. I think you have to treat it different, and you have to market it different than the older crowd. But we have made some gains. But clearly, you can make more. And I think if you look around the CFL, is Winnipeg and Saskatchewan in particular, and BC to a limited degree, have really got that younger crowd coming that they look at it as a place to be, and that's what we have to create here.
How do you create, like, winning obviously helps. There's no doubt in my mind
Yeah.
that the winning
No
plays
question.
a part for sure. Right.
Yeah.
But there is, you don't have to like be a dominant team. You just obviously, can't lose every home game for 4 years. Obviously that doesn't help. But, when you look at it, Rick, to bring in the new, because I think there's still a lot of people that enjoy CFL football. Like the Elks haven't been a very good team for a few years. You still had a few games, when it's nice and sunny out on a Saturday and you've got 35,000 people there, right? Like it still happens. And so when the team's good, I think it's even easier to attract them. But what do you feel are things that have to happen moving forward to start getting fans more interested in coming back on a regular basis?
Well, you're right about clearly winning certainly does help, but it's also an game day experience of and particular for families. That's where I think we grew it pretty well in BC. It's not an expensive ticket, and it's a great place for families. We're going to certainly build on the excitement outside the stadium before the game, and we're going to work at enhancing our game day experience and just make it fun. And because that's what it's all about at the end of the day, is coming out and enjoying, like you say, a great Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and a nice summer day. There's no better place to be.
Rick Lelacheur joins us, interim president and CEO of the Edmonton Elks. They start a 5-person committee. Now, the 5-person committee has 3 existing members of the board already. How is that then going to be any different than some of the ideas the board's already presented?
Well, the board hasn't presented any ideas. So this group is represented, as you say, 3 past board members, and then myself as we wanted to bring it down to a smaller group and get some experience from the past. And Bruce Bentley, who's a well-known Edmontonian, is going to be the chair. And I can tell you this committee is really gung-ho to get to work, find out what some of the interests are and ownership going forward, and then get to a point of making a recommendation to the board of directors as soon as possible.
That was my next question, Rick. Is there a timeline on this? Because I know you had a quote saying, hey, we're comfortable with our trust fund for 2024. It's no big deal, but obviously moving past that, we would need some investment. So if you're going to start the process, is it safe to say that you kind of we're almost near the end of 2023. So is this something that you're expecting a presentation from this committee to the board by end of January, or how soon?
Yeah, the sooner the better, in my opinion. But we're not setting any dates, Jason. We're gonna, we'll see. I've talked to a few individuals and groups that previously expressed interest since I came back in August, and I've actually talked to a couple today. So there's certainly interest in going forward with the Elks, and we'll just see where the time. I just can't say it's going to be by the end of January or the end of the year. We're going to do it as quickly as we can, find a solution, and then get on with 24 football. And
Rick, from your standpoint, are you expecting to remove the interim tag? Are they actively looking for somebody to are you just filling the seat temporarily? What's the plan as far as the CEO and president go?
Well, the originally, I think the plan was that they were going to go on a search right away, and we determined that since we're looking at this, I've agreed with the board to stay on an interim basis through into 24 to get this project done. So I just can't give you an answer when I'll be done, but it clearly will be a new CEO in place at some point. And, if it's a different owner, the owner might want their own person.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's going to be a very important position. So I've agreed to carry on. And so we're really running down two roads, the special committee, and then we're working hard with our whole team here of planning for 24 on the field and in our fan experience.
And so then it's safe to say, Rick, we won't see any major changes in management as far as GM and head coach either. We're you're going to kind of run with them as well, simply because of the potential for new ownership.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, no, Chris Jones will be the head coach, and he's talking to all of his assistants right now. And once he knows what he wants to do coaching wise, we'll make the decision and go forward from there.
Having been worked for both sides, private and public ownership, Rick, is there one that you think would be better for the long-term sustainability of the organization?
There's pros and cons to both. I think the key on a private owner is that it's somebody that certainly has the resources, but also to have the passion. And I think, I know Amar Doman very well now after my last 2 years there with him, and he's very passionate. And, the BC Lions at one point, Jason, were a community-owned team. Calgary was, Hamilton was. So, a year ago, Montreal didn't really have an owner. Now they're the Grey Cup champions. So there's no magic to who the owner is. I think it's more they have to have the proper financial resources, of course, but that they're passionate, dedicated to not just the team, but to the city of Edmonton and Northern Alberta.
Rick, thanks for your time. We look forward to see what this new committee uncovers and is presented to the board, and then obviously you'd make it public to all of the fans, because I'm sure many of them will be interested to see what the future holds for the Green and Gold.
We sure will.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jason. Bye now.
You betcha. That is Rick Lelacheur, of course, the interim president and CEO of the Edmonton Elks. If I was hedging a bet, it was interesting. Now we've got a lot of texts from people saying, "Hey, wait a sec. So we can, as fans, now $10 right now as a shareholder. That's just basically so they, you fall under the non-for-profit and they come in and they vote on the board. But I don't know if that was ever just a random one. I think it was kind of more select people. But would you look at a community-owned group? Like, how much money would a person want to put in for a share? Right? It would probably have to be significant. Like, if you look at, you're probably talking, 15 mil? Maybe more for the cost of the team, right? So do I see an individual? I'm not sure. I've talked to a few people around town, the ones who, have the money, because let's be honest, I think if you come in as an ownership group right now, you're going to be prepared that it's going to be one where you lose money to start, because the Elks for years did make money. Make no mistake. This has been a market where you could make good money. That's been a fact. So, that's plausible. So I'm fascinated by it. We need it. We need football here. I don't think they're on any verge of leaving. But I would probably, if I had to give you a guess, I would say private ownership would be better. Whether it's a group or single. And if it's a group, it can't be 38 or 9 like that worked. I know it was a great story, but I think you probably would want a smaller group, to be honest, for this. Especially because the amount necessary to go in. So food for thought, man. I think there's lots of good business people in this city who would be intrigued by this. I'll be curious to see. And I think there's lots of younger business people. This is the thing I hope. I really hope this committee doesn't just recycle kind of the known names, because there's a lot of quiet money in Edmonton of people that might be surprised that would want to be interested. So do a deep dive, not just a surface dive, for people who are interested and want to purchase this. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, speed things up. It is the Jason Gregor Show live at the Canadian Ice House for Thursday football. No NHL today. Another dark day for the NHL, which seems like it's every day for the owners lately. But it's NFL, of course, the Cowboys and the Commanders. And then later on tonight, the 49ers and the Seahawks. Hopefully that game will be better than the first two, man. Well, I guess if you're a Packers fan, you loved game one, but the Lions fans weren't loving it. And this game so far between Dallas and Washington has been somewhat of a snoozer so far. But hey, come on down. We'll liven things up here at the Canadian Ice House. We'll return. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
At The Brick, we're not just proud of this city and its rich sports history. We're proud partners of it. The Brick started right here in Edmonton over 50 years ago. And when we're not cheering on the Oilers and Oil Kings live at the game, or the Edmonton Elks under the bright stadium lights, we're in our stores, providing everything you need to cheer them on in your home. The Brick, supporting Edmonton sports teams and fans since 1971, saving you more.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
When you hand deliver a hamper to a family in need, everyone's hearts fill with joy. Be part of the Holiday Hamper Program, a charitable experience unlike anything in Edmonton. Sign up to adopt a local family, fill a hamper with food and gifts, then bring it to their door and see the difference you're making firsthand. With the rising cost of living impacting so many families, the need has never been greater. Sign up for the Holiday Hamper Program today at holidayhamper.ca.
Full-service provider of heavy haul transportation and rigging at the highest level. Next Gen Transportation.
We're developing new and innovative ways to transport oversized and overweight equipment to remote and challenging locations.
Our Next Gen team leads with a wealth of experience and expertise. But most importantly, we put safety first, so everyone gets home safely.
We also take great pride in supporting our local community programs and teams. Good luck to everyone this season and in the year ahead.
Visit nextgentransportation.com.
Being on this road together means saving twice during the Fountain Tire Road Ready sales event. Save up to $225 on a set of 4 select tires. Plus, get a bonus $50 off any service until December 16th. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Ugh, fine print.
First Round is Edmonton's NFL headquarters. Get in the game and watch NFL football this season at First Round. And you'll have a chance to win a trip to your favorite NFL city to watch a game in person next season. And the hits keep on coming with food and drink specials, big screen TVs, and more. Catch the Pro Bowl brunch every Sunday, Monday Night Football, and head in Thursdays for your chance to win an NFL replica helmet. NFL at First Round. Burgers, beer, sports. Downtown West Edmonton Mall and at 1strnd.ca.
Trevor is lonely. Yeah. So Trevor threw a big party and served salad.
Nobody came.
Mike is also lonely.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
So Mike threw a big party and served Will Hawk beef jerky.
Go Will Hawk! Go Will Hawk! Everybody came!
Will Hawk beef jerky. Because you don't win friends with salad.
Will Hawk is the home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
In Leduc, Spruce Grove, and West Edmonton Mall.
Your furnace is dead. It's time to replace it before winter crushes you. Legacy Heating and Cooling is practically there already.
Yeah, we're working in your basement, doing a replacement. The work is so furnacey, building your legacy.
With no payments and no interest for 1 year, you gotta call Legacy. Replacing your dying furnace before it's too late, that's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At Toyota, we believe you deserve a truck like the Tundra. It's a truck that's capable, reliable, and ready for adventure, just like you. A truck that's tough on the outside, yet warm and comforting on the inside. What? You know you secretly enjoy a nice warm bubble bath? Don't we all? It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2024 Tundra 4x4 Double Cab SR5 from $169 weekly for 64 months at 8.49% APR with $6,999 down. Hybrid also available. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
There's nothing like having a little skin in the game to make things interesting. But when a little skin becomes more than you can afford to lose, it's time to take a break from sports betting. Set a budget and stick to it. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Sports 1440, Oilers Nation YouTube. It is the Thursday edition of the Jason Gregor Show, American Thanksgiving version. We are coming to you from the Canadian Ice House. Of course, NFL football all day long, and come down and watch it. They got all sorts of screens, man. It's impossible not to have a great seat in the house to watch it. All sorts of great specials on. And hey, come say hi. Well, hey, we'll give you a bevy. Maybe you can walk in and looking at the Ice House. It's literally right next to me. It's literally Ice House. You go in there, like, it is freezing. But man, your drink just tastes a little bit smoother when you're in there. No question. Now, let's get to the racing report brought to you by Cantork. They continued developing tools, and they are excited to announce their newest design, battery-powered nut runners. 4 models from 500 to 3,000 foot-pounds with more on the way. Learn more at cantork.com. As Colin Livingston joins us once again. Colin, welcome back to the show. I hope you had a great trip, and it's in the books. And man, it's funny when you look at some numbers and people say, hey, the Vegas race was, they had 315,000 fans. So they'll say, wow, that's bigger than they have in some Europe. But then you look at costs, and the drivers seem to hate it from the start times, and then people that only had Thursday tickets. So I was always told by the people who are F1 diehards, never go to the first time it's in a market, because there's always all sorts of errors. We saw it on the track. We saw it in the crowd. I guess my first one for you, Colin, is the decision in how F1 punished Carlos Sainz when he hit that exposed man cover and it destroyed his vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, that was, first of all, I mean, just terrible. Absolutely, terrible. I want to go to the point to say inexcusable, but I mean, this stuff happens, especially, that was the first time cars got on that, that track, and it's a street circuit. So, they didn't have any opportunity to do any kind of testing to, aside from visual inspection. So, it can't be too harsh, but at the same time, F1 owns this race. They are the promoter. They were the ones that coordinated everything. They do all the safety. They do all the inspections. So there's nobody else to blame. They were the ones that set everything up. And within the first, I think it was 7 minutes, some reports say 9 minutes, when Sainz went out, he just happened to be the unlucky guy. It's a water, like a water line access. It was only like the size of, maybe like 8 inches across, 6 inches across, but it was enough that with the downforce that these cars have, when he hit the thing, it destroyed his car. It took out what's called the monocoque, which is the part of the chassis where the driver sits, took out the engine, took out the battery, took out a whole bunch, multi-million-dollar damage. And because they're at the end of the season, they didn't have any more allotment in the Ferrari, as far as power units go, as far as, everything goes. So Carlos Sainz got a 10 grid spot penalty for something that had absolutely nothing to do with him. Now, it after the race, Ferrari's hinted that they're going to seek compensation for that, because, realistically, they didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. But yeah, it was an absolute, I just about said a bad word. It was a very, very poor start to that weekend for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't great. The race itself, it had a lot of passing. So outside of that, how would you evaluate the actual track and the actual racing itself?
I'm probably in the minority. I didn't care for it. I thought it was really, really, really mediocre. Yes, there were lots of passes, but the passes were a result of the fact that there wasn't a lot of grip. There wasn't a lot of grip because the cars didn't get to go on track. It was a super smooth surface, with the exception of the one kink that took out Lando Norris. But with the cold temperatures, the smooth surface, they just weren't able to get rubber down. So the cars weren't really grippy. They weren't really agile. They didn't show what they had. The cars were really slipping around, and they never really got them to bite into the track. It was great to be able to see someone make a pass on Max Verstappen on track. That hasn't happened a lot this year. But yeah, I mean, as far as the actual, they keep talking about this as an event. Okay, fine. but the thing that you're trying to build the event around is the race. And at some point we need to focus on what happens on track instead of talking about how many bloody concerts there were on the, you know, on the outskirts and how many attractions they were, especially when fans weren't allowed to stay in the property on Thursday for the second practice session. Everybody was escorted off the property because apparently they didn't contract the security people long enough past 2 a.m. when they ran until like 4 a.m. Like just madness.
Which would make sense considering you wouldn't think you'd be there that late. Now I know that there was talk that the racers feel like, you know what, you're starting the race that late at night, and you know now they're going to the final race this week, and the 24 schedule is already made, Colin, and in Vegas starts off a week of 3 in a row. And I've seen comments already from the racers saying, man, like it's physically demanding starting so late. Everything's kind of delayed. Any chance you think they change the start time in Vegas next year?
The start time is kind of inconsequential. During the weekend, it's going to make a difference, but you know, you got to keep in mind right now they're in the middle of 5 races in 6 weeks. Like it's actually like crazy what they're trying to squeeze into the schedule this year. If they try and finish with 3 races in a row next year, I mean, that's just another set of challenges. But you know, it's very, very, very clear that Formula One, in their, you know, infinite wisdom, does not give a toss about their fans. They really don't have any kind of compassion at all for these teams. Like, I can't remember who the team principal was. I think it was actually Zach Brown last week was talking about the fact that, you know, you've got to really consider that most of their crew, most of their team travels coach. Like, yeah, the drivers have private access, or at the very worst, they're getting booked on first class on flights. So they're very comfortable no matter where they're at. The team principals travel well, the managers travel well, but the bulk of these people are squeezed into you know, tight coach seats with, you know, without a lot of amenity and bouncing around. Like the time change from here to Abu Dhabi, I think, is 11 hours right now. And from Vegas, it's 12. To do that in a week after being, you know, 3 hours ahead in Brazil before being 2 hours behind in Mexico and then Austin, like it's asking way too much. And they're talking about adding races to the calendar as well. So I'm not really sure. You know, everyone seems to get their dander up that Andretti is going to be the detriment of the series, that, you know, he's going to dilute what's happening and you know, all the rest of it. But meanwhile, there's all this other stuff that's going on in plain sight that, you know, I really think that, you know, they need to take a bit of a deep breath and really reanalyze this schedule.
Max Verstappen is calling. Livingston joins us. Max Verstappen did receive a 5-second penalty, basically for his maneuver that he's used many times, right? He goes wide and forces the guy who's wide to go out. You know, a 5-second penalty for him, obviously it means nothing. Do you think has there been any talk about, you know, them changing the way they police and enforce penalties, do you think? Or is this just smart racing by Verstappen and there's not much to do about it?
Well, drivers will always do what they can do until they're told that they can't. So Max has used this move countless times. Like, this was on the start. Drove up the inside and just simply didn't turn. I mean, he just about took out Hamilton. I think it was last year in Brazil. Maybe it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago in Brazil when they were fighting for the title. He does this all the time, and the issue is that, you know, Leclerc very wisely, you know, he drove wide off the track to where there was absolutely no grip, which really compromised his start, but he kept his car in one piece, which is what Verstappen is always counting on, that the other driver will back out. Well, twice, you know, in that championship year, Verstappen's first championship year of 2021, Hamilton was the one that was getting run off track. And for the most part, he conceded. He got pushed over curbs. He got, bounced around a lot. And then eventually Hamilton just stuck it. He didn't back out of it where Verstappen counted on it. Verstappen had a crazy crash at Silverstone when he was expecting Hamilton to back out of it. And then they ended up on top of each other. He actually ended up on Hamilton's roof at Monza because, again, Hamilton didn't back out of it. And then they come around and they're critical of the other driver. It's like you can't be this aggressive all the time and always come out on top. But I think these are like Verstappen is way better than this now, and their car is so much better than this that if he gave up that spot, like he gets a 5-second penalty. His actual comment on the radio was like, yeah, no problem. Give my compliments to the stewards. Like, thanks a lot. Tell him I say hello. I'm going to be driving past this guy in 2 minutes anyway. Like, it doesn't matter because it's not a penalty. It's at the very most, it's a minor inconvenience. But I mean, the passing was okay. But I don't know. I'm not a fan. There's too many street circuits already. For the Total Wolves and all the rest of the management that said, this is nothing and this is no big deal. Like, nobody's thinking about it from the fans' perspective who spent whatever available liquid cash they had, bought their plane ticket, maybe could only afford the first day, maybe only had a Thursday ticket. This is their only opportunity to see racing. They got 7 minutes where the cars aren't even up to speed, and then they were told to go away, and F1 comes back and says, well, we'll give you a $200 voucher, which is about enough to buy a keychain and a ball cap, like, because their merchandise is ridiculously expensive. So like, nobody really seems to care how inconvenient, how much fans are giving up to get to these things. And it's like, well, you know what? Suck it up, because this is the way racing goes. So, like F1 didn't really learn their lesson after Spa a couple years ago, where the race only went 2 laps. I don't know. I mean, they're trying to build this fan base and they're trying to expand, but they show time and time again that they don't care about the people.
Colin Livingston joins us, Cantork Racing Report. NASCAR Canada released their schedule, and there was some rumors that they wouldn't be coming out west, but that's not the case. So for NASCAR, for Pinty's fans out in Western Canada, got to be excited that there will be racing again out here. Yeah,
I was told like explicitly that the Western Swing was not going to happen. I mean, we didn't really talk about it, maybe in private, but as of this week, now that the schedule's out, we get the Eastern Swing is still there with Riverside comes back onto the calendar, which is the best oval in Canada that's left in Antigonish, Nova Scotia. Just an awesome track that gets bookended with the race in St. John's, and then in July the 20th and the 27th, we're now getting a week of NASCAR out here. So stop in Saskatoon on the 20th. Then there's a week before the Wetaskiwin race on the 27th. So it'd be great to be able to come back out here and get that again.
Awesome stuff, Colin. Well, have yourself a great week. We'll talk about the final race coming up it's this weekend, but we'll talk about it next week. Have a good one.
Yeah, sounds good.
That's Colin Livingston in the Racing Report, brought to you by Cantork. It is the Jason Gregor Show, Thursday edition, live at the Canadian Ice House on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation YouTube. When we return, we got Spec coming up. We got lots and lots of texts to get to. 833-401-1440 is our text line. Let's get to the comment. Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Fountain Tire and the Road Ready Sales Event, which is on right now. You can save up to $225 on select tires and get an additional $50 off when you book any sort of service right now at fountaintire.com. Some restrictions apply.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
No games on the ice tonight in the NHL, but of course the Oilers in action tomorrow, 1 o'clock, taking on the Washington Capitals. Off the ice, the Chicago Blackhawks have announced that Taylor Hall is expected to miss the remainder of the season as he undergoes surgery on his right knee. He's got 2 goals and 4 points in 10 games this season, having previously missed time with a shoulder injury. And the Toronto Maple Leafs placing defenseman John Klingberg on the long-term IR. He's not played since November 11th due to a hip-related injury. 3 games in the NFL today. Of course, it is American Thanksgiving right now, just about halftime. Cowboys lead the Commanders 20-10. Earlier today, it was the Lions falling at home to the Packers 29-22. Later tonight, you have the Seahawks taking on the 49ers. You can head down to the Canadian Brew House and watch all the action with Jason Gregor till 6. And then it is Brandon Douglas there for the Thursday nighter. You can qualify for a chance to win a trip for two to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl or a home opener of your choice in the 2024 season. The Edmonton Elks announced today that they have started a committee to review its ownership structure. The goal of the 5-person committee is to ensure professional football continues to thrive in northern Alberta. The Elks made that announcement in a statement earlier today. Interim president and CEO Rick Lelacheur saying that the club's financial struggles over the last several seasons cannot be overlooked. Coming up in hour number 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Grey Cup champion, member of the Montreal Alouettes, Armando Sewell, and we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
You know, I got into reffing for the excitement.
He's going for the chair.
Turns out wrestling is completely scripted. But you know what's exciting and unscripted? PlayAlberta.ca. With an all-new sportsbook, odds boosts, and betting on any game.
PlayAlberta.ca. Go all in on excitement. Sign up today with promo code SPORTS50 and get a $50 free bet. Official gaming partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
There's 2 seasons in Alberta, winter and construction. During these days of traffic barricades and slower commutes, GS Construction reminds you those crews are improving our communities. They're rehabilitating and upgrading Edmonton's infrastructure all across the city. When you see the barricades and run into a traffic backup, remember, the crews are there to help. Drive slow and be patient. Help make our city better and join the GS Construction team. See what they're hiring for on Indeed.com. GS Construction, laying the groundwork for your community since 1974.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is
On the Rocks.
Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m.
Building or renovating, you want to work with someone who sees and understands your vision. BIE Engineering is a family-owned, experienced structural engineering consulting firm serving commercial and residential clients in Edmonton and surrounding area. Homeowner or large company, they'll work with you to help see your ideas through. BIE Engineering can help prevent problems, deliver solutions, and minimize your risk. BIE Engineering. Request a quote for your project today. Visit BIEENG.com.
Are you ready to light up your game like Edmonton lights up the ice? Then choose eWell. Electrical Wholesalers Edmonton Limited offers lightning fast service. Just like your favorite forward, they deliver your electrical supplies in record time. Plus winning quality. They only stock the best. And don't forget about their all-star support. When it comes to customer service, they're the playmakers. So don't sit in the dark. Make the power play and visit eWell today. Online at ewel.ca, where excellence in electrical meets the heart of hockey.
It's a triumphant return to the airwaves. Hi, I'm Colin from Cantork, and this is a great call. Cantork proudly continues our partnership with Jason Gregor, eagerly rejoining his team on Sports 1440.
What's better than getting a delicious McMuffin and a medium premium roast coffee? Getting a delicious McMuffin and a medium premium roast coffee for only $4 plus tax. It's your favorite McDonald's breakfast for less. What's better than that? For a limited time at participating McDonald's in Canada, prices exclude delivery.
Why choose Jobsite Workwear for your Carhartt needs? We're your local, independent, Alberta-owned and operated experts.
That's right. And with nearly 2 decades of experience, we know Carhartt inside and out. From outerwear to the legendary Carhartt A18, we've got you covered.
At Jobsite, you'll find the largest selection of Carhartt in the heart of Alberta. We're not just a business, we're a local tradition. Find your Carhartt at
Jobsite Workwear. Tough gear for tough jobs.
4:07. Welcome back. Thursday edition of the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440 live on Oilers Nation YouTube. Coming to you from the Canadian Ice House, baby. Your place to watch the game today and tonight. Also, watch. Hey, think about this. You come down today, you can enter into the draw. Maybe you'll get the golden ticket. And that means you could be winning a trip for two to any NFL home opener next year. Your choice. You got to go to your favorite team. Maybe you want to go to the Super Bowl champs home opener, wherever. You want to just want to go to Tampa because it's nice out. You get to pick anyone you want. So get down here to the Canadian Ice House tonight. Brandon Douglas will be here for the 49ers and the Seahawks game. And, of course, right now it's the Cowboys and the Commanders. Cowboys leading 20-10 at the half. We're going to get to usually we do Ryan's rant, but all TR, if you're wondering where TR is today, all his power's gone out. He's got no power, so he's not on the show. So I'll be doing Ryan's rant for him, brought to you by Action Electrical. Whether you want residential solar or commercial solar, they have it all. And remember, there's up to $40,000 10-year interest-free loan from the Canadian government and also $5,600 in grant-free money right now. actionelectrical.net. They can show you how to do it. I do want to talk about the green and gold today. And to me, they're an example of an organization that was once very proud organization, was phenomenal, right? They were successful on the field. They were successful off the field. They made money all the time. They also were very competitive, right? Year after year. There was no doubt that they were going to field a competitive team. But really, since 2006, this organization has been on a steady downcline. Look at it. 2006, 7, 8, 9. Look how bad they were. Right? Then they hired Eric Tillman. That was a disaster. The Ricky Ray trade. One of the worst trades in CFL history. Now, eventually he gets let go. Ed Hervey takes over. What's the first thing he does? He acquires Mike Riley. Good trade. Then he made lots of other signings. Chris Jones, good head coach. Chris Jones, when he's the head coach and the DC, you're good. When he's the head coach and the GM, it's not good. Look at his track record in Saskatchewan. Look at his track record now in Edmonton. It's not good when he does all jobs. He can't do all the jobs. So now the green and gold are sitting here. Well, they're in a position where they're going to look at their ownership structure. They're basically admitting what they do now isn't working. It's not sustainable. So they're going to have to change. It's either going to be a single owner, it's going to be a small ownership group, or they're even considering, you know what, you have public shares and you put it out there to the public and people can buy their shares. Now, the challenge with that is, to me, when I look at some of the things that have gone wrong lately for the green and gold, from people that I talk that are much more into the organization than I am, ever since they kind of creaked open the door to have the board have more say, it's been a gong show, right? It's been a gong show. You don't try to sugarcoat it. The Elks are looking like the Oilers were in the decade of darkness, okay? And that's what happens when you don't have good, strong leadership at the top. It just funnels down, right? We've seen it for the Oilers. We've seen it now for the green and gold. I firmly believe, without question, the best way for the Elks to become a viable franchise again, because I strongly believe there's lots of fans in town that want to go and support a competitive, well-run football club. I have no doubt in my mind. There's a strong football community here. They need a single owner or a small ownership group if they're going to be successful. That's it. I don't know who that owner is. I don't believe it's going to be the OEG, and that's fine. But there's lots of other people in town who have the finances and the wherewithal to own the team. And they need to find the people who care enough about the community that they're willing, unfortunately, to lose some money early on, because that's the truth, right? Now, there's lots of business people will tell you, hey, I can buy a business, and knowing that it might lose early, but I believe I can bring it to becoming successful. There's lots of people that have done that. And I think you get the right owners in place, you can bring look at BC. And BC had never had for the longest time. They didn't have the history that the green and gold have had. The green and gold have a long history of great fans, competitive teams, right? Their facilities are still top notch. That's the advantage they have. right? Their facilities are top notch. Now, there's some things you can do in-house, I believe, to make it more affordable for families, because that's what you have to do. The Stingers are a great example. Smaller scale, but they're a great example. People went there. They made it. The game was part of it, but they made it good entertainment. And it was fun, and people liked it. Now, obviously, it helps with the rule change in the last 4 minutes in the CEBL, but $5 beers, right? You had cheap food, right? And I know that you say, well, Greg, you can't do that on a bigger scale. Why? Atlanta does it in the NFL. You have to take and think about, how are we going to get more people here? What can we do? And you can't just, well, we're going to keep dwindling our crowd, so we're going to increase our food prices because that will cover it off. That doesn't work. Right? It doesn't work at all. And I'm telling you, the only time in 4 years, the only 4-year span where this organization was successful on and off the field was when Hervey was their GM. Now, Ed Hervey made some mistakes, no doubt. But you don't well, did he make more good decisions than bad? Yeah. And I think he would probably function better with a single owner. But Ed would be the first one to tell you now, if he had him on the show today, that he learned some things. He made some mistakes, no question. You bring in Ed Hervey, I'd have no problem if Chris Jones, because Ed Hervey knew how to control Chris Jones. Chris Jones' biggest issue is he tries to control everything. He's not good at it. He's not. His GM track record is proven. And people, unfortunately, try to give him credit for building the 2015 team, which wasn't true. He didn't build it. He coached it. Hervey built it. He brought in the players. He set the level of accountability. Because when Ed Hervey came to the Elks organization, he was the one who learned about what it took to win as an organization and what their culture was, right? He played. They won. Then he saw how it got dismantled. Then he was able to bring it back. Then they got rid of him. Now, was Ed, the mistake he made might have thinking, well, hey, I'm irreplaceable. Trust me, no one is. Everybody's replaceable. But if I was the owner, to me, that would be the number one move I would make. And I would go to Chris Jones and say, hey, man, we're going to bring him. You guys have worked together before. And if Chris Jones truly cared about anybody other than himself, if he truly cared about the organization, he would know he's better as a coach in DC than he is as a head coach, a GM, and a DC. Because the proof's in the pudding, right? The proof is in the pudding. Single ownership, bring back Hervey and the Elks. That'll be the steps if they want to get back to credibility. Because there's not a lot of other GMs out there in the CFL. They're going to come in with a track record and experience of doing it, right? He's being the assistant GM in Hamilton. He's still in the league. He knows what's going on. It makes sense. Hey, guys, Rhodes firing Hervey was brutal. It was a bad decision. There is no question about it in my mind. It was a bad decision. And when you make continually bad decisions, and look at the Oilers, right? I don't want to transition this into the Oilers all the time, but I will. Look at the Oilers organization, where they're at today. And you can pinpoint a few things. Number one, I think you got to go all the way back to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' rookie season. Who are the veterans that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins got to learn from? Because to me, even the Oiler players talked about how important Mike Smith was to their team because he was vocal. And oh, by the way, Mike Smith on the ice, combined 21, 22 seasons, had the 7th best save percentage. So stop with this bunk that the Oilers didn't have decent goaltending. Yeah, Mike Smith wasn't Vasilevsky, right? They had bad team defense, right? We all know that. So you had Mike Smith, good leader, but you also had Duncan Keith. And the player, there's a guy who came in, and you don't have to rant and rave, but Duncan Keith had 3 Stanley Cups. He's won Olympic gold medals, right? He talked in a way that the other guy, if you didn't respect him, then the bigger issue was on you. But Ryan Nugent-Hopkins never had any forward to really learn the game from. Neither did Connor McDavid. And people will say, well, McDavid doesn't need to learn the game. I think him and Draisaitl need to learn the defensive game a little bit better, right? So that's something that has lacked for a long time. You had it for a bit with Keith and Smith, but they didn't replace him. And I think the error that Ken Holland made was that now they brought in Ekholm, so maybe they thought, okay, Ekholm could be our Keith. Maybe. But you need more than one guy. And I don't think there's a strong enough voice right now in that room. That's just my own impression. because I don't feel there's a voice. And the Oilers' best players, they're their best players. I don't debate on that. But it doesn't mean that they can't be more aware defensively. And when they're more aware defensively, they're not going to give up as many goals. It's that simple, right? Connor McDavid is -5 at 5-on-5 this year. It's not good enough, right? It's not good enough. Just isn't. So the organization, they have to look right now. And their problem is they're right in the thick of it. The Elks, they're at the bottom. Sometimes it's easier if you're like, hey, you know what? We can have another year of pain, right? As long as Trey Ford's our quarterback, he's exciting. Fans will see that at least there's progress. The Oilers are right in the middle of it. They're supposed to be good, and they're not. That's the challenge, right? But I've talked to the players, and at least publicly their answer, oh, no, we hold each other accountable. I'm not seeing it. That's all. I don't see how they're holding each other accountable. So, because the proof to me is in the games. And when you break down the goals against, they're too easy. They're far too easy. We'll talk about winning to a guy who just won a championship. He's won a few. We're going to talk about the importance of how players can set the standard, because I think it's very important to do. That's coming up next on the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 live on Oilers Nation YouTube, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, live at the Canadian Ice House.
Hey world, get ready to believe. At Oodle Noodle, we serve up world-class, worldwide flavors in our sweet, saucy, and fiery noodles. We believe in the power of nudes. We've got everything from saucy mac and cheese to sizzling pad thai to so many other unbelievable dishes, sure to make you a noodle convert for life. You've got to taste them to believe it. Don't be a skeptic. The proof is in the noodles. Check us out at oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle. We believe in noodles.
Christensen Communities, the name in active adult living. Enjoy retirement living without compromise. At Christensen, we understand that each lifestyle is unique. We are committed to providing choice through optional dining, personal services, recreation programs, and care plans to suit your current and future needs. Enjoy maintenance-free living and build new friendships in a safe, independent community. Large suites with full kitchens and in-suite laundry, on-site amenities, and so much more. Find out more today about our communities across the province at CDLhomes.com.
A solid financial plan is made up of more than just investments. Investments are an important part, but you need a more comprehensive approach. Roger Weird at Weird Pearson Akel & Associates Private Wealth Management understands that. He can help build a plan that includes retirement, estate planning, personal insurance, tax strategies, and yes, investments. Talk to him today and see the difference a real financial plan makes. Weird Pearson Akel & Associates. Call 780-988-4119 or visit weirdadvisoryteam.com.
Get your vehicle ready for winter with Jiffy Lube. Drive-in, drive-out service with 25 extra air miles with your Shell Go Plus app. Be wise, winterize. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving.
What's better than getting a delicious McMuffin and a medium premium roast coffee? Getting a delicious McMuffin and a medium premium roast coffee for only $4 plus tax. It's your favorite McDonald's breakfast for less. What's better than that? For a limited time at participating McDonald's in Canada, prices exclude delivery.
The Junior Prospects Hockey League is entering its second season of gameplay. The JPHL now offers academic and athletic opportunities in the U14, 15, 17, and U18 age divisions. All JPHL games are broadcast online on Silent Ice TV with a showcase-style game schedule and high level of travel and accommodations for its team, staff, and players. To learn more about why the JPHL is the fastest-growing elite hockey academy stream in Western Canada, visit juniorprospectshockeyleague.com.
At Toyota, we build quality vehicles with you in mind. I mean, it's not like we're always thinking about you. We're not obsessed or anything. We just know you value your 9 to 5 as much as your 5 to 9. And with the reliable RAV4 always ready to roll, you're capable of making the most of both. It's time to make every moment count. It's time at Toyota. Lease a 2024 RAV4 LE all-wheel drive from $95 weekly for 64 months at 7.29% APR with $3,499 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today. FYI, still thinking about you.
Hey, Parkland County, the holidays are coming and you can become a beacon of joy. Join the Spruce Grove Canettes and Stony Plain Kinsmen in making Christmas a little bit brighter for local families with our Christmas hamper program. Last year, your generosity helped almost 4,000 residents. This season, let's do even better by donating monetary gifts, store gift cards, and toys. Every bit counts. For donation details, visit sgconnect.ca or stonyplainkinsman.ca. Together, let's spread warmth, hope, and holiday cheer. A big thank you for your generosity and happy holidays.
At Canadian Tire, Black Friday starts with Red Thursday. Today only, Triangle Rewards members earn $50 bonus CT money after spending $300 pre-tax. Value that adds up at Canadian Tire. Qualifying purchases, one time only. Conditions apply.
Back on a lovely Thursday afternoon, the Jason Gregor Show live from the Canadian Ice House. Brandon Douglas is here. He'll be here all night tonight hosting Thursday night football. Come down, see the B-Man, and hey, you enter into the draw. You could be going to a season opener of your choice, home opener of your choice next year, the NFL, courtesy of the Ice House. Also, they got unbelievable specials. I might have to be trying a few of these tonight here before the show's over. And hey, if you stop in, come say hello. You know what? I'll get you a beer because I know it's been a tough week. So when you get off work here in the next bit, stop in the Ice House on 104th Ave. And even if you can't get here before we are out, stop in. Brando will be here all night. He said he would even buy you a beer. So there you go. You'll have it covered for you tonight. And of course, maybe you'll be watching the Seahawks and the 49ers. I haven't heard much from Brad today about his Seahawks. Maybe a little worried, eh, Bradley? A little worried that the 49ers might take it to him. We'll see. Cowboys leading 20-10 at the half. Also, Dolly Parton is a treasure. That's all I have to say. Dolly Parton is 77 years young. She was like the halftime show today for the Dallas Cowboys, and she comes out in a cheerleader outfit and in typical Dolly fashion. She looks fantastic. She is the standard. And I don't know how many people know about how much Dolly Parton donates to so many charities, so many underprivileged people. And how, like, we're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars that she has raised and donated for people in her community. She is one of the most beloved figures and just a fantastic human being. The fact 77, she's still out there performing. Good for her. It's inspiring. You got to stay in shape, baby. Stay in shape. Doesn't matter your age. How many people would be comfortable enough to walk out in a crowd of 105,000 people and on national TV at 77 wearing the cheerleader outfit and absolutely kill it? Good for her. Good for her. That's she's. I got to get back in the gym. Oh my goodness, that's all I know. After watching that, that's all I know. We got a lot of texts to get to. Almondo Sewell is going to join us momentarily. Hey, guys, why is Nurse not wearing a helmet in warm-up? I thought the orders made it mandatory after Taylor Hall from Doug. No, that was very temporary and short-lived. And, like, dude, that's like 10 years ago. Nurse, Kane, Cassian, Larson. There's been lots of guys that don't wear it. It was an unlucky break for Darnell Nurse, but let's be honest, that had zero to do with the game last night. Right? Zero. In why the orders lost. So I know, like, people are trying to say, oh, that's bad leadership. Why? You never mentioned it until today. It can't magically be bad leadership. Is Evander Kane a bad leader because he doesn't wear one? Guys don't wear one. It's their choice. So I don't equate that to bad leadership at all. So, and Gregor Cates has owned a team through the whole decade of darkness. Do you think so the Elks, are they automatically going to be better? Look at the orders. It hasn't helped them. Well, you know what, Darren? There's some validity to what you said. He's overseen a lot of it. And it's funny. There are people who wonder, like, can you be like, when you're the owner of any business, I don't care what the business is, if you're not engaged every day, like, you got to hire unbelievable people, because when they don't own it, you can try to create a culture where they care as much. And I think they do care, but I think it's different. So I think there's been some mistakes under Daryl Cates' reign. No question in my mind. There's been some big mistakes, right? I think it's obvious that right now the organization is trying to build a situation where they can re-sign Connor McDavid. That's obvious. They have 2.5 years until his contract is done. And obviously 2 and 3/4 years, because we're not even at the quarter mark of this season. The first 18 games, awful. We all know that, right? Now, you have a bad year, doesn't mean that next year or the year after can't be good. Look at Vegas. Vegas missed the playoffs and then won the Stanley Cup after being to the conference finals in 3 of the previous 4 years, right? Like, no one ever said that winning was easy and that it's a guaranteed consistency to do it, right? It's hard. And the Edmonton Oilers have made some bad decisions, and it's come back to bite them this year, for sure. There's no question about it. They brought back the exact same defense and goaltending, and it hasn't worked, right? It hasn't worked. So, but the one thing that I think has been underlined all the time is culture of your team. And we're going to talk about a guy who has now won a Grey Cup with 2 different organizations. He's been a pretty significant contributor in both of them, as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies, taking you or your group to your next destination. Book your ride today at silentrides.ca, a member of the 2023 Grey Cup champion Montreal Alouettes. Armando Sewell joins us once again. Armando, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How was the parade?
Parade was absolutely crazy. They really love their football over here on this side of the country.
Well, it's been a while since you've been involved in a parade, so I don't know if you ever forget what it's like, but man, it must have been good for you to get back on the winning side of the Grey Cup.
Oh, of course, man. It started off a little bump, but you know how Coach Moss is. He's gonna get us right back on the right track.
You know what, hey Jay, how different was Moss? Because he talked a lot about how he's matured and he feels he's made some changes as a coach. As a player, was there anything significantly different you noticed in him as a coach this time around?
He's a lot more personable now. You know, he still tells you exactly how he feels. That won't change. But for the most part, you know, he's not throwing the headsets anymore. But and he's just like, he's very in detail now. I think a lot more now than when he was in Edmonton.
Okay.
We took over.
Well, that's just experience, I would think. Like players, they get better. Coaches are going to get better too. Armando, we've been talking a lot about, holding players accountable. Coaches can do it, but I think most of the accountability in pro sports comes from the teammates themselves. Would you agree, or do you think that the coaches create more of the standard than the players do?
Oh, no, the coaches will yell all they want to yell, get blue in the face all they want to get blue in the face, but you still need those locker room guys where, you have to be able to set those leaders in place where, man, those guys are always going to be around them, let them know, especially for the young guys, you're not hurting yourself, you're hurting the team as well, So it's just like one of those things where, I'm a big believer in, locker room leaders,
So when you have those guys, can you maybe describe how a locker room leader holds his teammates accountable in a way that makes the team better?
As far as I'll start off with penalties, for example, right? Or every time there's a significant penalty, I'll use the football as an example. Every time there's a significant penalty, CFL, and they throw up all these statistics every single year. Usually the team that does a penalty that's on defense or whatnot, it's like a 75% chance of them scoring on that drive, you know? So it's just like these big, like, you know, PIs, you know, unnecessary roughness. Those are the ones that hurt you. Not necessarily the offsides, but, you know, like the huge impact penalties. And, you know, like as like a locker room leader, you mean, you got to almost preach this every single day. Like we got to minimize the penalties because that's going to hurt us. And it is proven true, you know, but, you know, it's also nice when you play with a bunch of guys, like especially over here that they, you know, these young guys, they listen. So it wasn't as difficult this year.
Armando Sewell joins us. And that's a simple example, right? It's just like, hey, guys, so let's say you have Armando, a guy who's taken too many penalties. What's the leader do to curb that?
Oh, no, we always got a fine system in there somewhere. You don't have to pay. You have to pay up for something.
Do you find that is that like that's kind of a simple way to get it to work?
Oh yeah, it always works that way. You know, it's all for fun and games, but at the end of the day, you know, like you ultimately is hurting the team. You know, and then to most part, you know, once that guy keeps doing the same thing over and over, you know, at some point the coaches got to step in. You just got to go.
Yeah. And so that was my next question was, so if you have guys who if you don't have one of your leaders set a standard for that, right? Let's say, Armando, you're the leader and you're like, okay, guys, we're not taking penalties, but you keep taking penalties. It's probably easier for the other guys to say, well, he's taking them. I'm like, why do I have to not take penalty? Right. So You need your core leaders, with your locker room leaders, in most cases are probably your better players. Is that fair on most teams? You being like your biggest contributors in a lot of cases can be your locker room leaders, and it goes hand in hand.
Oh, absolutely. You know, if you're an impact guy, you're an impact guy. Like we had a couple of young guys this year who they ultimately became leaders through their play and through their style of playing, and just, you know, they don't take penalties. Every once in a while they get a penalty, but same thing because it's sports. You're going to mess up at some point. You know, you're going to get a penalty playing enough snaps. So, you know, but it's the ones that don't. It's the ones that are like consistently not having penalties in the game. They're just like always just, you know, level-headed. They do the right things, you know. Like those guys are the guys that, you know, usually people look up to.
Armando Sewell joins us. Who are some of those young guys for you, Armando, that really stepped up and, you know, I don't know, maybe if surprised you is the wrong word or not, but guys who are stepped up and became, you know, huge contributors and huge leaders on your team that maybe you didn't expect?
Stubblefield. I use him as an example. You know, young guy came in the camp, he got cut. He only played 9 games, but he didn't look like he only played 9 games. But young guy, man, he just came out there and he balled out, you know. Or, you know, your Tyrese Beverly, he's been in the league for a long time now, a little while now, actually. And your Wesley Sutton's, you know, team captain, team leader this year, only in his, 3rd year into the league.
Let's go back to the Grey Cup game. It was, you know, it was classic. You've been in a few of them. You know what? They're all really exciting when you're playing it, man. There's very few duds when it comes to the Grey Cup game, but this is one. You know what? Winnipeg obviously has been a really good team for many years, and you know, you guys, you know, was it kind of spare parts that all came together and it worked very well. When they stuffed your team, Armando, you know, the three, you being a defensive guy, you're probably like, oh my, because usually that's a huge momentum boost, right? How was your team able to overcome it? What was said at the locker room when you could have been really down after what happened?
Absolutely nothing. We sat there, we all doing that. We had to do a better job of getting that ball in there. And I went around and I looked at the whole line and I was like, man, that's on us right there. We got to push these guys off the ball because I'm in on those plays as well too. And, you know, it happened so fast, but, you know, we got to get a better push. But at the same time too, like, it's what people didn't understand though. You know, it's one of those coaches where you're going to work every single day you're in practice. We're going to run 75, 85 plays of practice, rain, snow, sleet, except for lightning. We're going out there, we're practicing, we're going to run plays. So at the end of the day, you know, at some point, if you're a worker, everything's going to work out. And that's always a message that's been like preached in the locker room since the season started. Like, we're going to work.
Armando Sewell joins us. Armando, you've been in the league now over a decade, man, and you're really showing no signs of slowing down. Obviously, you've always been a huge guy in the offseason working. I know you still reside in Edmonton. What's the motivation for you? What keeps you going, and how are you able to be such a big contributor even this later into your career?
I always take good care of my body. You know, I'm always, working out, always being a student in the game, so it's one of those things right now where, like, I've been playing for so long. I mean, eventually it has to come to an end, and, like, ultimately, I would like to come home, but it's not really up to me at this moment. I'm still on the contract, but we'll see.
So you'd like to play in Edmonton again before you end your career? Is that safe to say?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, well, it is home for you. And you look at that organization, where it was and kind of where they are now. And, I think, like, people used to take for granted, they call it the Eskimo way, you call it the Elks way, I don't care what you call it. But, it was there. And it like, having been part of it, what do you feel? How did it go awry? What went wrong to kind of lose that double E way?
And, so there's probably a bunch of things that probably went wrong. Because I was one of the last guys out of that old group that was there. And, when you're leaving, changes that happens, but that's pro sport though, sometimes, some things happen so fast when you get rid of so many guys all at once. You're going to get them to teach the younger guys exactly what that culture was about, in Edmonton. And ultimately is that you're there to win. That's it. And, maybe a lost sign of that.
Yeah, sorry about that. I remember you were, I've always appreciated because you're very honest. You don't speak out very often, and you had talked about, hey, you could tell if a team has a quarterback who isn't committed, and you said that that was the case in Edmonton, and then you left. Cody Fajardo, when he came in, what made you know that he was committed right off the hop?
Oh man, Cody's a worker. He's a worker. He's going to come in there. He's going to grind it out with the boys. It was the same thing, same process in Edmonton when Mike Rowley was there. Hey, it doesn't take very long for you to figure out who your leaders really are. He's going to come in there. He's going to be working every day. Cody's at the facilities every morning at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't leave until about 7 at night. You need dedicated guys like that. Same thing when, Mike Rowley was there too as well. Guys there every single day. And they air early, leave late. You're the quarterback. You're the captain of the ship. So, when you see guys like that doing things like that, it forces other guys to, come in, do what they got to do, and everything else fall in place.
Now, being in Montreal for the last while for you, it's a wonderful city for sure. I know it's not home for you, but it's a wonderful city. What has been the favorite restaurant that you've eaten in Montreal?
Favorite restaurant, I gotta say, Pub St. Pierre. It's right there in the Old Port.
Yeah.
The owner, Ron, great guy. They take real good care of you when you're down there. So it's a little bit of everything they have in there.
And like, what's the best dish? If I'm going there, what should I order?
The pad thai is pretty great.
Ooh, pad thai. All right. Has there ever been talk about? Would you like to get the Grey Cup for a day? The Stanley Cup in the NHL, they have it. Every player gets it for a day. Kind of has his day with the cup. Is that a tradition they should start in the CFL?
Oh, of course, but I mean, I know, yeah, but I know that it'll be in Edmonton eventually at some point this year. I mean, Coach Moss lives there, Noel Thorpe lives there, I live there, Justin Lawrence lives there, Jeshaun Antolete lives down there in Calgary, and also does Jake. So it'll be there for at least 2-3 weeks.
So are you going to have like a Grey Cup party then in Edmonton at some point with your friends?
Not sure, but I'll be driving around with it. I'm gonna stop down there though. I know where you guys at.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. You know what? We'll make a deal. Yeah, you come. You bring it by the new Sports 1440 studio. I'd like to see it. So that'll be. Can't remember last time I saw the Grey Cup up close, buddy. So that'll be great.
Okay.
All right, man. Well, congratulations, Almano. It's always good to catch up with you. Enjoy the celebrations. You guys, you had the parade. Is the party still ongoing? You guys have a few more team parties? What's happening?
I think the last one is tonight. A couple of guys are going out, but I'm staying in tonight. I'm going ahead. I'm flying back to Edmonton early in the morning.
Okay, so veteran move.
Don't miss my flight.
Don't want to miss your flight. Veteran move, Elmondo. Veteran move. Yeah. All right, man. Thanks for this. We'll see you soon.
All right, see you.
There you go, Elmondo. Well, he is a good dude. He's still the strongest human being I've ever met. Personally, in my life, I've never met a stronger person than Elmondo Sewell. You go to the gym with him, and it's like ridiculous. Like when you see guys, like obviously, you know, professional athletes, a lot of the guys are really big and strong. But then there's Armando Sewell, and he makes other guys, like when he can just push weights around like nothing, and they can't move it. Like you got big, hulking defensive linemen, and he's in there and just, you know, shoving around 600 pounds like it's not, they can't even budge it. Like he is a strong human being. And I love it. See what he said about the leadership. Right? Your coach can yell all you want. Everybody's like, oh, it's on the coach to do it. The coach, why? How? The coach doesn't play the game. The leader's got to set the standard. As a very simple thing like penalties. This is their standard in football. Well, in the NHL, right, obviously power plays aren't leading to that high. Hey, you take 3 power plays, we'd have to look at games and everything like that. What's your percentage of losing? But there's certain, you have to play this way in our own zone. If we give up easy goals too often, and mistakes are one thing. Mistakes are one thing. They're going to happen. But the order is, it's a repeat over and over. What did he say? If guys keep doing it, then eventually the coach has got to step in. That was, I think, the one issue that Woodcroft did is he didn't step in. And so Chris Knobloch, it sucks. He's inherited it. But he said 10 games it would be his team. Well, that 10 games is coming up pretty quick. And at that point, then he's going to have to be the guy who sets the standard. As far as the discipline of taking away ice time. He can't set the standard in the room, but he can remind players of what it is. So to me, the coach sits in, okay, guys, you tell me what your standard is, then I'll hold you accountable to it with ice time. You should hold each other accountable to it yourselves, but I'm the one who will take away ice time. Players don't take away ice time. They're going to, hey, coach, sit down, Bobby. They don't ever do that. But that's what's got to happen here. Otherwise, it's never changing. Okay? And that has not happened. When was the last time you can remember a key player on the Edmonton Oilers, after multiple errors, ever even missing 2 shifts? Can you think of one? I can't. And so when you've tried everything else, that's what you got to try. We'll come back. We got 5 questions and more on the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, live on Oilers Nation YouTube, live from the Canadian Brewhouse. Stop in. You got the Commanders taking on the Cowboys right now, and later on tonight, 49ers and the Seahawks, and your chance to see any team you want next year for their home opener. You can win that prize here at the Canadian Ice House.
Storm chasing sounds exciting. Most days, though, it's a lot of standing in the rain. But you know what's exciting and dry? PlayAlberta.ca. With hundreds of new live tables, online casino games, and instants.
PlayAlberta.ca. Go all in on excitement. Sign up today with promo code Casino50 and get a $50 welcome bonus. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
At The Brick, we're not just proud of this city and its rich sports history. We're proud partners of it. The Brick started right here in Edmonton over 50 years ago. And when we're not cheering on the Oilers and Oil Kings live at the game, or the Edmonton Elks under the bright stadium lights, we're in our stores, providing everything you need to cheer them on in your home. The Brick, supporting Edmonton sports teams and fans since 1971, saving you more.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
What's better than getting a delicious McMuffin and a medium premium roast coffee? Getting a delicious McMuffin and a medium premium roast coffee for only $4 plus tax. It's your favorite McDonald's breakfast for less. What's better than that? For a limited time at participating McDonald's in Canada, prices exclude delivery.
Building or renovating, you want to work with someone who sees and understands your vision. BIE Engineering is a family-owned, experienced structural engineering consulting firm serving commercial and residential clients in Edmonton and surrounding area. Homeowner or large company, they'll work with you to help see your ideas through. BIE Engineering can help prevent problems, deliver solutions, and minimize your risk. BIE Engineering. Request a quote for your project today. Visit BIEENG.com.
Our cars are our lifeline, and every now and then we need to take care of them too. Cochran's Automotive services your vehicle with pride. When you need to fix it up, bring the whole family fleet. Junior's WRX, Mom's MPV, Dad's 1500, or even Grandpa's old 88. All makes and models are welcome. Trust Cochran's Automotive to professionally repair your family's pride and joy. They've got you covered for Volkswagen diesel timing belts too. Call 780-452-5001. Hey world, get ready to believe. At Oodle Noodle, we serve up world-class, worldwide flavors in our sweet, saucy, and fiery noodles. We believe in the power of nudes. We've got everything from saucy mac and cheese to sizzling pad thai to so many other unbelievable dishes sure to make you a noodle convert for life. You've got to taste them to believe it. Don't be a skeptic. The proof is in the noodles. Check us out at oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle. We believe in noodles.
Denham Ford's roots run deep in the history of Central Alberta. Like always, you can experience the same honest pricing and honest service that you've come to expect from all of us at Denham Ford for the past 65 years. Denham Ford is proud to be Canada's only 50-time President Award-winning dealership in customer satisfaction, treating every customer like family. Visit Denham Ford on the world-famous Wetaskiwin Auto Mile or from home at denhamford.ca.
Ours costs less than Wetaskiwin.
Notice how most sports stadiums and arenas are named after companies, so you can't think about your team without thinking about that business? That's just great advertising. Similar to YouTube. When you watch your favorite videos, there's usually a commercial playing in front of it. Why not make it your commercial? Now that Sports 1440 is in the digital world, we can help your business become top of mind by advertising on YouTube. Have your business be front of mind. YouTube commercials. Contact us at sports1440.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, the clear choice for all your
Four 49. Welcome back. Thursday afternoon. Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 live on Oilers Nation YouTube. We're coming to you from the Canadian Ice House. It's nice to be back out doing the show a little bit live on location again, which is just quite fun. And you know what? As it starts to fill up, people getting off work, so come in, say hello. Douglas is sitting over there. The deck man here is doing push-ups in between commercial breaks. A little bit better shape than old Cons. I don't see you doing the break routine that old Declan Kruger's doing. You might have to get on the push-up routine.
Well, what we do in the darkness comes to light in the day, right? Is that the saying? I don't have to be seen doing my push-up routine. I get it done when no one's watching. Camera hasn't been showing me. I've been crushing it over here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, that's good to know.
I don't have the arms of Declan. You know, he's still a young kid. He's not married yet, Greg. I was told when I get married, I can take it easy a little bit on that.
Oh, no, that's funny. Did you see Dolly Parton at half? She doesn't live by that. Kidding me? 77 years old. She's out there kicking like kung fu. She's got the cheerleader's outfit on. It was amazing.
I'll give Dolly credit. She's living good. She is living good.
She is obviously stays very healthy, which is important. Healthy. You look better when you're healthy. That's just a fact for sure. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick, and Canada's best Black Friday starts tomorrow at 7 a.m. People, you get in line, you can win gift cards. Also, they're going to have a free coffee there, free local delivery for the first 3 hours. But The Brick opening up at 7 a.m. for all of you diehards, and they're going to have some unbelievable sales. You can get mattresses starting at $149, pillows at $12, big screen TVs, and much, much more on great deals at The Brick.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Gregor, question number 1, very simple. Did the Oilers make a mistake firing Jay Woodcroft and Dave Manson?
That's a good question. I don't know if mistake is the right word, because that would be suggesting that the replacements have made them worse. I think the same issues that were here under Woodcroft and Manson are still here, because those are, I think they're deep-rooted, ingrained in your leadership core group, your main guys, because they're the ones who play the most, and it has to change.
Yeah, I mean, I said on some shows that the quickest way, I think, to spark the team, give them that little boost, is to make the firing. But it really all depends where you go from there and who you hire. So I guess for me, it's still wait and see type approach to it. But I mean, we haven't seen it yet, Gregor. We haven't seen major improvements. So it's still up in the air, in my opinion. Question number 2. They're very hard hitting questions today. Will the Oilers make the playoffs?
Oh, gosh. Like I said, they would at the start of the year. Like, I think everybody around the league. There was not one person who picked the Oilers to miss the playoffs this year. So it's not a homer pick. Everybody had them making the playoffs. God, the way they're playing right now, I can't see it. I hope I'm wrong, but they're going to need an intervention. We have some fans text and say, hey, maybe the fans got to do it like the Phillies do. Just give them a round of standing ovation when they come on the ice rather than have them think negatively. So I don't know, fans, do whatever you can, but I'm saying not right now, Con, not the way they're playing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think so. And if there was some sort of encouraging signs with this team, like things they were doing, playing a little bit better defensively, maybe I'd have some optimism. But right now, I don't think they're a playoff team, which is going to be an extreme disappointment for people in this town. Who starts in net for the Oilers tomorrow when they take on the Capitals, if it's your decision?
Oh, it's not even a decision. It's the easiest decision. It's Stuart Skinner. I'm sorry, but Calvin Pickard is not a guy that I would be playing starting 2 out of 3 games and basically playing, what would that be, 160 of the last 180 minutes? No chance.
Yeah, with you that one. I want to see Skinner bounce back after last night's game getting pulled. Question number 4. We had a little talk about the Elks in the future with their ownership going private. Would you be in favor of that happening, taking it away from being that community-owned franchise?
Yeah, I think like anything, you want the right owner in place. I think somebody who's going to look at purchasing the Elks would be somebody, I think, who really understands and cares about the community. I know there's lots of people in this town who definitely have the finances to own the team. Now, do they have the passion to want to own the team? Because I'll tell you, like any successful business person, because to me, it's not like you're buying the Elks for like a ha-ha fun time, right? You want them to be successful, and you need to be passionate about it. And then you need to hire people that are passionate about it and make smart decisions. So yes, I would be in favor of it. I think it's the current model isn't working, and I don't know if you can change how the current model runs to get back to being successful.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one as well. I think change would be good in this situation, and if the board maybe it would make things a little bit more efficient. They could make some changes, do things that way. I'm all for it now to see who it could be and what could happen. I think the organization needs a reset, and this would be a way to do so, assuming it is a good quality owner. Final question for you, Gregor. Since it is American Thanksgiving, a day that I love, and I'm sure you and everyone out there loves it because we get football all day. If you could adopt anything from the United States that we don't have here in Canada, what would it be?
You go first.
Well, Thanksgiving is the obvious one for me. The one thing I would, though, is their variety when it comes to certain restaurants and foods and drinks. Like I've said it before, I'm a big fan of Mountain Dew Code Red. Brad Slater was going to go down to Seattle. He asked if I wanted anything. That's all I said. Just a nice bottle of Mountain Dew Code Red. But some of their restaurants, and I know we're getting better here. We're starting to have, Fat Burger, Five Guys, Carl's Jr., all those sorts of places start to kind of make their way into Canada. But just the establishments that they have down there, big In-N-Out fan. So if we could get something like that up here, I think that would be pretty cool.
Dude, you're going to eat that like 5 times a year.
Yeah,
so,
you're right. But
yeah.
it would be good.
Oh, sure. I would love Canada to have more competition in the cellular plan data space. Our prices are disgusting compared to many other places in the world, specifically in North America. So, yes, competition in the cellular data plan. Please, thank you, as quick as possible.
That's a good one.
That would be wonderful. And you know what? It impacts everybody because it's something that vast majority of people have, and it's become ridiculous on what the cost is compared to what people pay just south of the border.
Don't they have really good flights in city to city? I'd like that as well.
Very good one. Yes. Now their population's 10 times more, so that probably has a part to do with it, right? So that plays a small factor. But yes, I saw the report the other day that said Canada's 2 airlines unfortunately led the way in longest delays. So not great. Not great. So where we go. Hey guys, Carries had mentioned if the Elks go private, they may not play at Commonwealth and move to a smaller venue. Missed the rest of the show. Is that actually a consideration? Where would they play? Harvey. No, I don't say. Where's the other location? Going to play in Clark Park? Right? There's no other facility remotely close. I think maybe you misheard him talking about the fact that Rick Lelacheur in their conversation had mentioned that they would like a newer facility. But even Rick, when we had him on the show, admitted that that's well down the road. That's not top of mind right now, right? Winnipeg got a new facility. Saskatchewan had a new facility. Sure. So they're saying, hey, maybe Edmonton could get one down the road. The Calgary would love one. And Calgary's facilities, like the Commonwealth Stadium is a gem compared to McMahon. Like it's not even close. So no, they would play there. There's no other place a professional football team in Edmonton could play. Because when they're run properly, there'll be 25,000 fans minimum, and a lot of times they'll be up to 35, right? So that's what you'd like. So I don't see that happening. One other quick one. Hey guys, listen to your opening monologue. It's bang on. You should just save your voice and replay this day after game, every day after the game. It's beyond a joke if the players say the same thing after every game with absolutely no improvement on the ice. Same lazy bonehead plays every game. Listening to Nuge last night post-game was depressing. Love the show from Mark. And Mark, the one thing I will agree with you wholeheartedly, well, first of all, thanks for the text, is yes. At some point, can you claim it's almost like this group never, ever wants to offend anybody. Believe in our group. We 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 care. We want to play good defense. Well, if you want to, why aren't you? Okay, why aren't you? Because the decisions you're making, these are things that are easily fixable. It's very simple to shoulder check and pick up the late guy coming in. Like, we're not talking, like if the Oilers are getting beat on bang plays and you're like, oh my goodness, they're just not skilled enough. Well, then you'd live with it. We've seen teams that weren't skilled enough in this town. Lots of them. The Oilers have enough skill to win. Maybe not win the Stanley Cup, but they definitely have enough skill to be a playoff team. Are you kidding me? It's a joke where they're at. Like, let's be honest. Look at their skill level top to bottom, and don't tell me it's an unmitigated joke where they're at in the standings. They're not playing up to their capabilities. They don't have to be the best team in the league. But my God, the Edmonton Oilers, you're telling me they're the 30th most talented team in the league? Give me a break. There's no chance. But they refuse so far this season to have any sort of accountability within their dressing room. I'm sorry, because actions speak louder than words. The same glaring errors are made different players all the time. Irresponsible puck management at the key parts of the ice. Trying to make a fancy play that leads to an odd man rush from when you're in the offensive blue line. How many of those chances do the Oilers get? How about hardly any? Because other teams don't do it. But the Oilers do. Why do the Oilers do it? Why do the Oilers continually they're the second worst team in the NHL and giving up shots in the slot? That's not the goalie's fault. Okay? We know the goalies need to be better, no question. But it's not the goalie's fault that the Oilers give up the second most slot shots. The only team worse, the San Jose Sharks. The only team worse in the standings. So figure it out, players. Stop making excuses for yourself. Step up, grab some accountability, and say we are not good enough. We're not playing up to our potential. Because we're not good enough. It's actually false. They're better than what they are if they choose to. Right now, though, they're deserving of the record. There's two separate things here. Do they have more skill? Yes. And their record shows? Sure. But their record is very accurate portrayal of how they have played this season. That's on the players. Now, management, did they make some mistakes? 100%. But even though getting rid of Costin and Bukestad, that doesn't make by the way, Bukestad only played the last 20 games of the year. Not even, right? So are you telling me that, and Clean Costin, who played 9 minutes a night, that losing them means the rest of their team is now going to make all these defensive bad mistakes? Oh, geez, Clean Costin's not here. I'm not going to shoulder check. Oh, Clean Costin's not here. I'm going to try a fancy-dancy play in the offensive zone. Oh, Clean Costin's not here. I'm going to lose a board battle. Why? That doesn't relate to me at all. So the players need to look in the mirror and admit they're not playing up to their potential and start, as Armando Sewell said, locker room leaders. He's a huge believer in them. Well, this is where the locker room leaders might have to have a little bit more tough love to their teammates. Because trust me, think about your best friend. When your best friend is suddenly going down the wrong path, do you just let him or her keep going, or do you stand, hey, maybe have an uncomfortable conversation with them? Good friends have the uncomfortable conversation. I'm the order. Let's get to the comment. Sports 1440 update. It is the Gregor Show live at the Canadian Ice House. Come in, say hi, 104th Ave, just across from Rogers. Got all sorts of great specials and more as we get to Connor. Sports 1440 update presented by Edmonton Kubota. The snow is coming. We know it. It'll hold off, but eventually it's coming. So don't wait till the last minute, then you're stressed out. You don't have any snow removal equipment, and more importantly, you don't have the right accessories, and now you're stressed. Remove the stress. Plan ahead. EdmontonKubota.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Off day in the NHL. The Oilers will be back in action tomorrow, taking on the Washington Capitals. Puck drop just after 1 o'clock Mountain Time. Chicago Blackhawks forward Taylor Hall is expected to miss the remainder of the season, as he will undergo surgery on his right knee. At 2 goals and 4 points in 10 games this season, having previously missed time with a shoulder injury. And the Toronto Maple Leafs have placed defenseman John Klingberg on long-term injured reserve. The 31-year-old has not played since November 11th due to a hip-related injury. In the NFL right now, Cowboys up on the Commanders 20-10 as the fourth quarter just underway. Here on this afternoon, it was the Packers knocking off the Lions 29-22. And later tonight, 6:20 to be specific, the Seahawks taking on the 49ers. You can head down to the Canadian Brewhouse and hang out with our very own Brandon Douglas for Thursday Night Football. Your chance to qualify for a trip or two to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. The Edmonton Elks announcing that they have brought together a committee to review their ownership structure. The goal of the 5-person committee is to ensure professional football continues to thrive in northern Alberta. Elks interim president and CEO Rick Lelacheur is saying, or who serves on the committee and is a non-voting member, said the club's financial struggles over the last several seasons can't be overlooked. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Tim Enger of Football Alberta. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Christensen Communities, the name in active adult living. Enjoy retirement living without compromise. At Christensen, we understand that each lifestyle is unique. We are committed to providing choice through optional dining, personal services, recreation programs, and care plans to suit your current and future needs. Enjoy maintenance-free living and build new friendships in a safe, independent community. Large suites with full kitchens and in-suite laundry, on-site amenities, and so much more. Find out more today about our communities across the province at cdlhomes.com.
It's simply the best time to buy. The Black Friday event is on right now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. You'll save up to a game-changing $7,500 off your purchase or finance as low as 1.49%. Choose from a winning selection of 2023 cars and SUVs like the sleek S60 or the roomy and comfortable XC60s and 90s. Black Friday is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Visit 1205 101st Street Southwest or chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com.
When you hand deliver a hamper to a family in need, everyone's heart fills with joy. Be part of the Holiday Hamper Program, a charitable experience unlike anything in Edmonton. Sign up to adopt a local family, fill a hamper with food and gifts, then bring it to their door and see the difference you're making firsthand. With the rising cost of living impacting so many families, the need has never been greater. Sign up for the Holiday Hamper Program today at holidayhamper.ca.
Since 1987, Ram Elevators and Lifts has been raising the bar and more by manufacturing superior elevators for both residential and low-rise commercial buildings. What drives them? A vision of accessibility, because they know that an elevator or lift is more than just a mechanical device. It's the freedom to go where you want. Ram's North American-made elevators, starting as low as $32,900, are rated as the best residential elevators by Forbes magazine. Grounded simplicity, elevated design. Click on trustram.com.
Order the juice, get the points. Now at Booster Juice, it's rewarding to be loyal. Introducing the Booster Rewards app, the reward program to give you a boost. Order on the app and enjoy 1 berry point for every $1 you spend. Redeem it for tasty Booster Juice treats, like your favorite smoothie, a Booster Ball, grilled fresh wraps and paninis, and cool Booster Juice merch. And with the Booster Rewards app, the more you order, the more you enjoy. Download the Booster Rewards app today. Order, earn, enjoy.
At Toyota, we build quality trucks with you in mind because everyone loves a friend with a truck, especially a Toyota. A truck as dependable and capable as you are. So when that inevitable ring-a-ding-ding for help comes, you're there, rolling up in an award-winning truck because you're an award-worthy friend. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2023 Tacoma 4x4 double cab SR5 starting from $119 weekly for 64 months at 7.79% APR with $6,499 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Your furnace is broken. Legacy Heating and Cooling will give it a good talking to and make it smarten its act up right now.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If your furnace is disobedient and refuses to heat.
Call Legacy.
If you just want some peace of mind this winter.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Plus, Legacy never charges overtime rates. Always call Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Five o'clock. Make our way through Thursday afternoon on Sports 1440. It is the Jason Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where, of course, you can get in the game. Lots of prop bets, lots of fun, lots of boost bets now you can make. Maybe for the 49ers and the Seahawks tonight. Also, go to PlayAlberta.ca and you could win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years, which equates to $7.2 million. Pretty sweet. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. We are live at the Canadian Ice House. Of course, lots of football on. If you're a basketball fan, they got some hoops now that have started, so you can check that out as well. Dallas currently leading Washington 23-10 to start the fourth quarter. As we get to the Spec Report, he joins us live from Washington. Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. They're asking you just to remain patient. I know you get to certain places, they're busy. Remember, they want to get home just as quick as you, so let everybody get home safe. Be cautious through the construction zones from GS Construction, as Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us once again. Spec. Hi. Ooh, geez, buddy. Look at all the dark. Nice. Holy cows. Nice. Oh, geez. Thought we were in some sort of artistic play here for a second. Or I was like, is Spec trying to foreshadow? He's like the Oilers. He's in the dark.
Yes. No, I'm in one of these hotel rooms without any real lights somehow. I don't know what's going on here, but we'll figure it out. I'm in the dark. I mean, I've been in the dark most of my life, so why stop now?
Yeah, hey, why not? The Edmonton Oilers, Spec, I went through that game again last night, and I went through the goals, and the players can talk all they want about how they do hold each other accountable. I'm sorry. When you look at the breakdowns on those plays, Spec, from the first goal, second goal, no one's in the lane. Then you got Ekholm making a turnover in the offensive zone. Brown inexplicably jumps up. Now it's a 2-on-1. It's a goal. Then it's a 2-on-2 that's a nothing play that turns into a 3-on-3 behind the net. Oilers lose every battle, and the Hurricanes score. The fourth goal, I thought actually they might have had an argument because I thought McDavid got tripped behind the net. That probably should have been a penalty, but it wasn't. And then I don't understand why the team is playing Desharnais on the left side and Kulak on the right side when the puck was in the offensive zone. They should be switching because that's if he's on the left side, Spec is a right shot. It sticks in the middle of the ice. Jarvis recognizes it. And either way, Desharnais can't let him get behind him, but it's a lot easier when your stick's on the inside. He goes to the outside. Skinner doesn't make a save. And then the fifth goal was the worst one for me. It's basically one guy wide open in the slot with four people walking around. People were joking about, is the old construction site and the grunt guys working and everyone else is standing around doing nothing. Like it's the same glaring errors, different players, different games, Spec. Like, I'm sorry, there's no commitment to playing sound defensive hockey from this group right now.
Yeah, no, and I mean, you talk about let's hold guys accountable. If you held everybody accountable, you couldn't field a team because it's not the same guy doing the same mistake every night. I mean, Leon Draisaitl was -4 last night. Ekholm has been, by his standards, has been a shadow of the defenseman that he's supposed to be. He's been brutal this year. He's making tons and tons of mistakes. He's supposed to be one of your leaders and veterans to help get you out of this thing. Right? He's not helping you get out of this thing. I still feel for Broberg, who gets 3 minutes of ice time, makes a mistake, and never plays again. It's just going to be a recurring theme. When you play a guy the way they're playing Broberg, that's all he's going to give you is mistakes. Yeah. Brown makes the bad play following Ekholm. Ekholm makes the bad play passing it backwards as a defenseman when he just shoot the puck, make a predictable play. McDavid's been average. So, yeah, let's start benching guys. Pal, you got to ice a team tomorrow.
Yeah, well, right? No, I wasn't even talking, Spec, about the coach. I was talking about, I believe, because Armando Sewell, we had him on. He's won 2 Grey Cups, right? And to me, pro sports is pro sports. It's different sports. But there's the locker room accountability is transferable to any locker room. And he goes, hey, I'm a huge believer in the locker room leaders, and you have to have guys who are going to hold, they set the standard. He used an example about penalties. You take dumb penalties, it's the players. They have a fine system in there. It's kind of fun, but and eventually the guy's like, okay, well, you're out, right? Because you can't do it anymore. And I look at the order, Spec, and the players, I've asked them, you've asked them, and they're, oh, yeah, we hold each other accountable. Well, whatever they feel their internal standard is, it's simply too low. It's unacceptable. And it's been this way for basically every year except 2017 and maybe 30 games last year, Spec. And then they get to the playoffs and they were leaking goals all over, and the management decided to bring back the exact same defense core and the exact same goaltenders. So maybe we shouldn't be surprised, but the fact is there's no standard amongst the players to hold themselves to, or at least from the outside, it doesn't look like there is, because why are they making Mickey Mouse mistakes?
Yeah, I can't argue with anything you're saying, right? I can't argue with it. Now, there's a few things here. I like this line of what we're talking about, because we do tend to, the Oilers, what are the first thing you do? You fire a coach in this town. They fired Woody. Fine. He's 2-9-1. He didn't have enough answers. You fire the coach. We talk about Holland and every mistake he's made, and I get it. He's made some mistakes. Don't get me wrong. But this is a good enough lineup with enough veteran players. They should be able to go out and win a hockey game once in a while without worrying about what coach and what system. Just play hockey, right? Play a proper game of defensive hockey. Every guy, there's a bunch of 29, 30, 31-year-olds here. They know how to play the game. Don't you've pointed out all these rudimentary mistakes. Most of the piece I wrote after the game last night was about how it doesn't matter what your system is when you're making mistakes that hockey players were taught, in midget and bantam, right? When number 14, the defenseman rushes the puck up ice, some forward, the last guy generally, or the winger on his side, is supposed to stay back. They taught us that when we were children. and every one of these guys learned it. They mastered those skills. That's why they're in the NHL, and you and me are sitting here talking on the radio, right? They know. But here we are, they're NHL players, and there's 3 forwards watching 14 take the puck into the zone, and they're all following them. Like, what? How does one of the forwards not know, right? One of us better stay back in case this goes sideways on us. And none of them do. Like, those 3 forwards wouldn't play for 2 periods for me if I was coaching at this point, but they play the next shift, man.
Yeah, well, honestly, like I know Knobloch is I said it off the top. He didn't create the problem; he inherited the problem, and he has 4 more games, Spec, before they have a break. They have a 5-day practice break, and to me, that's when he puts his fingerprints over this team. And when they come out of that break, to me, that's 10 games now. Ryan Huska did it at 10 games. Other coaches have done it in 10 games. If you don't adhere to whatever his standard is, then if he doesn't sit, and that includes 29, if 29 can't be benched for half a period because he continually wants to make a bad defensive read, like glaring ones, like to me, there's mistakes that I'll live with. Everybody makes mistakes. But to me, there's just a lack of basic attention to detail or willingness to even want to do the right thing.
Yep.
And like last night, and the other thing is stop playing McDavid and Draisaitl together. It's like it's a reward for them. They don't get rewarded. They got outscored 3-0 last night and got outshot 9-0. They were both better away from each other, and you're playing a Washington team that has no offense, but's winning with great defense. So you're better off to split them up and give yourself more time with those guys on the ice. Maybe something positive can happen offensively. And because when they're together, Spec, I think they're a nightmare defensively. Because, they're both natural centers. One guy is playing his position. They're both down low to the net. They're never in the shooting lane as wingers because they don't do that as a centerman. So it doesn't work. Stop the insanity, in my opinion, for now. Like, it hasn't worked for 16 games this year, always going back to McDavid and Draisaitl. It's not working.
Well, they pay the coach to find solutions, and I think that's an obvious one. And, listen, I'm going back here now to a thing we talked about 3 years ago, about how this 29 and 97 need to lead the way direction that this team's going to go. And as long as they're just going to play offensive hockey and not give you what you need on the defensive side of the puck, they won't win. I get murdered in Edmonton for talking about the Yzerman moment. And what it is an offensive player who finally figures out that unless I keep the puck out of my net, the points don't matter, right? I get crushed for talking about that. Where are we, right? Where are we? You got 2 great offensive players who can't keep the puck out of their net, and they're the leaders. How are they leading? Where's the team going behind them? This is a team of players who are worried about offense and not about defense. How's it working for you, folks? Right? It doesn't work. I'd rather have 97 be a plus player and get me 90 points instead of being a pseudo minus player and get you 120. It's not working. Draisaitl's game's a mess. I mean, it's a mess, man, right? And they're about 3 more losses. They're 10 points out of the playoffs on U.S. Thanksgiving, pal. We can all look at the standings and concoct ways that they can get back in this thing. They're playing 230 hockey, and they got to snap their finger and play 660 hockey for the rest of the year. You think that's going to happen, right? Realistically, you think that's going to happen?
Yeah, like honestly, like they played Washington and Anaheim. To me, those are must-win games. If you have, like, neither one of those teams are dominant teams because you're going to get Vegas. Then you got Vegas on Tuesday. Now that's a dominant team, right? Winnipeg's playing incredibly well. Like, if you can't win these two, you think you're going to beat Vegas and Winnipeg? Like, come on, like
everybody else is figuring out their issues, and the Oilers are really the last. Like, Chicago's never going to figure out their issues because they're just not a very good team. Everybody knows it. They just tanked last year. San Jose, forget about San Jose. They're an awful team. They're barely over an AHL level. All the other teams, including the Calgary Flames, have kind of figured out what it takes to get some points in the bank here, right? Yeah. The Edmonton Oilers are the last team. They don't have the solution. They can't figure it out. Their players don't know how to win at this point. Like, how is that?
No. Yeah. It's frustrating. I'll be curious to see what Jackson / Holland do here in the coming days because sitting on Maybe sitting on their hands might be the best thing for them if the team plays their way out of the playoffs and they don't have to make a desperation move and ruin their future even more. Maybe it's just a terrible year and they got to bite the bullet. I'm not sure they're willing to do it. I'm not sure they have an owner who wants to do it, but that might be the best course of action the way they're playing.
They don't have an owner who wants to do it. I'll tell you that right now, right? Daryl Cates, I'm here to tell you, is breathing down their necks, right? This is a guy who rightfully, he's the owner. He should want to make some money in with playoff gates. He's looking at his playoff gates going down the tubes right now. He is not happy. I'm here to tell you. But you're right, Jay. The only trades out there right now are bad ones. They're bad trades. You're going to pick up bad goalies on bad contracts, and you're going to give up too much for them. And you're going to look back and go, man, we just poured gas on a fire. On half the trades that I'm hearing and thinking about right now, they're all gas on the fire there. I wouldn't make them.
Spec, enjoy the darkness. Enjoy Thanksgiving matinee tomorrow in Washington. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Jason Gregor is live here today at the Canadian Ice House. We'll return. I think, is the power restored? Maybe. We might have a surprise guest. Joining us next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And hey, if you're making your way home from work and you're just like, you know what, I got to relax, I got to have some good food, have some laughs, have beer, come join us at the Canadian Ice House on 104th Ave, just across from Rogers.
Rodeo clowning felt like an exciting opportunity. Boy, was I ever wrong. The bulls, so predictable. But you know what's exciting and unpredictable? PlayAlberta.ca. I can bet on any sports game, play online casino games anytime, and buy lottery tickets anywhere.
PlayAlberta.ca. Go all in on excitement. Sign up today and get over $100 in welcome bonuses. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
When basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal joined the team at Papa John's, he brought some big ideas. But his biggest idea is the Shaq-a-Roni pizza. It's a massive pizza designed to feed big appetites and make a big impact. It comes with 8 foldable Shaq-sized slices, loaded with extra cheese and extra pepperonis. But what makes it really big is that for every Shaq-a-Roni sold through December 31st, 2023, Papa John's donates $1 to Second Harvest to provide 3 healthy meals to people and agencies in need. The Shaq-a-Roni is bigger than pizza. Get yours today for only $21.99, only at Papa John's.
There's 2 seasons in Alberta, winter and construction. During these days of traffic barricades and slower commutes, GS Construction reminds you those crews are improving our communities. They're rehabilitating and upgrading Edmonton's infrastructure all across the city. When you see the barricades and run into a traffic backup, remember, the crews are there to help. Drive slow and be patient. Help make our city better and join the GS Construction team. See what they're hiring for on Indeed.com. GS Construction, laying the groundwork for your community since 1974.
A full-service provider of heavy haul transportation and rigging at the highest level. Next Gen Transportation.
We're developing new and innovative ways to transport oversized and overweight equipment to remote and challenging locations.
Our Next Gen team leads with a wealth of experience and expertise. But most importantly, we put safety first, so everyone gets home safely.
We also take great pride in supporting our local community programs and teams. Good luck to everyone this season and in the year ahead.
Visit nextgentransportation.com.
Thinking about solar power? Action Electrical wants to eliminate your entire home or business power bill and keep more cash in your pocket. With effective paybacks in 5 to 9 years, give solar a chance with Action and put your lazy roof to work. Alberta is the second highest province for the amount of full sunlight hours, and with system life exceeding 25 years, solar power is like a McDavid draft pick. Still have questions about solar power? Contact the professionals at actionelectrical.net today. That's actionelectrical.net.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is
On the Rocks.
Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, and the Cowboys just get another touchdown that puts the total to 48 points. PlayAlberta.ca, it was 47.5. So if you took the over, you're probably just fist pumping. If you had the under, not happy, but the over just hit on that play. So there you go. We are live, and hey, seeing everything live in action at the Canadian Ice House. Stop in. The brand man will be here all night. Of course, I am here for the next remainder of the show. But if you want to stop in, you can. And Brandon's going to have all sorts of great stuff. You got drink specials all night tonight. He'll probably even buy you a bevy or two if you like. And also he'll give you in the draw that maybe you can win the golden ticket. The golden ticket, which is a trip for two to any NFL home opener next year. Whew. Courtesy of the Canadian Ice House and Canadian Brew House. Pretty sweet. Now, let's go in the room, brought to you by Next Gen Transportation, heavy haul transport provider, 100% locally owned and operated. All new trailers are in, man, and they're ready for business at Next Gen Transportation. And we are joined by our regular co-host. He had some power issues. Hey, when the power's out, it's kind of hard to get on, but Terry Ryan joins us. TR, how you doing?
Doing all right. A bit tiring the first couple of weeks. I'm in almost every scene so far, so it's a lot of work. Apologies on that, but there's not much I could do about it.
Hey, buddy, you got to, you know what? It's a good excuse, okay? It's not I knew going in, you know what the standard was going to be. You're living up to the standard. That's fine. It's when if you would have told me I can do everyone no problem, then you wouldn't be up to the standard. We have to have a conversation, right? That's kind of what the order should be like. Hey guys, you're not living up to the standard. We need to have a conversation. Like it's, the players set the standard. Do they not, TR?
Yeah, it's wild. I'm curious about all this. I've been catching myself up when I can in between. I've been watching the highlights. I haven't, usually I listen to your show on off days and I haven't heard anything. So I'm kind of curious what everybody thinks, because I mean, it sounds like a broken record, right? When you say set the standard, there's nobody that's setting any standard at any position. And that's scary because they all have the potential to do so. And I think at this point, I don't know what to say about the goaltending, but as far as defense, just, you know, there's, like we said, it's irresponsible to say the least. It's just irresponsible defense. I don't know how else to say it. And the scorers aren't scoring a lot and like normal, and the power play isn't as incredible as it was. You're going to run into problems. And as far as setting the standard, as you said, it's not a good one being set right now.
No, it's well below. And you know, they changed the coach already, and they had a little bump against teams that didn't score in Seattle and New York. And then I said, yeah, okay, but I'm not getting excited about it, because they're going to play some teams that can score. And then look what they're giving up. They're giving up 5. They're giving up 6. And the problem was, if you go back and watch every goal last night, Terry, Carolina barely had to work to score the goals. That's to me what's the most concerning. If another team makes great plays, sometimes you just got to be like, damn, hey, they're in the NHL. They're going to make good plays. But last night, you got guys not covering. You got turnovers in the offensive zone, the forward not covering for the defenseman, guys losing 3 battles right behind the net that leads to a goal against. Like, these are all things that should not be happening. Like, there's simple plays to make is to shoulder check when you're back checking. Oh, there's their late guy coming in. I'll just slide over 6 feet and I take him. It wasn't even a quick decision. And that to me is what's concerning, Terry. And it's kind of been an issue for a long time. And that's why I think unless you can get a coach who's just a real hard ass, you might have to trade in some players here because their culture internally is not a winning one.
No, it's wild, isn't it? Like, because most teams, if they're having a problem, you can put your finger on it. In other words, it's this, obviously it's this, but with the Oilers, they're very experienced veteran players that have all like been up for awards players, multiple players that have long established careers. And last year, I mean, you finally kind of thought they were out of that. And with much of the same cast, they're regressing a lot and they're all in their prime. Like it doesn't make sense of any sports team in any of the 4 leagues that I've, major sports leagues that I've been watching and consistently for the last number of years, being the NFL, MLB, NHL, and NBA. I'm hard pressed to find another team. Maybe the Brooklyn Nets last year. You're looking at the talent going, how can they not put it together and just win they have to, but win the game is one thing, right? Like the old adage, you don't go game by game or period by period, you go shift by shift. That's it. They have 3 good ones in a row. And by that, like they beat down the net. And then all of a sudden lapses that, would be better suited for a bantam team. And I don't know where the answers are. That's what's so tough right now. You mentioned the coach. I know I'm rambling, but I don't know. I thought about this. Like I talk about Tyrion all the time, but there were elements that I respected about him, and he was a hard ass. Okay, so you look over the course of recent history. I don't know, Mike Keenan, Mike Babcock. I don't know. Maybe there's some players. I'm not saying that those guys particularly, but Rick Tocchet. There, if you're in Vancouver, I'm a forward. I don't know. I'm trying to relate to it. If I turn around and Rick Tockett's upset, maybe I go a little harder subconsciously. I don't know. I'm not. I'm just going Woodcroft and Knobloch. First of all, again, I didn't think Woodcroft was the problem. And to go from one to the other, I think is almost like a lateral move. Good.
Yeah, same
people,
person. You're right.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my opinion. I'm not down on either one of them. I don't know, to get rid of Woodcroft and bring in Knobloch, and it doesn't seem like much is happening. And I'll point out that one of those games that they won, Darnell Nurse blocked like an empty net at the red line. Like if the guy just slid along the ice in the empty net, they lose that one too, right? You got to give a lot of luck to come back and get 3 goals in the last 8 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I totally forgotten about that kind of miracle comeback against Seattle. And so, teams will go in funks, and the good teams find a way to limit the length of the funk. Right now, the Oilers haven't done that. And to me, some would say, if you look at statistics, that say the Oilers' chance of making the playoffs is down to like 44%, which is terrible for a team that everybody had as a lock to make the playoffs. There was not one person who covers the NHL, no other fan base who thought Edmonton was going to miss the playoffs. So this is an unmitigated disaster right now. And I'm sure there's pressure. I'm sure they put a lot of pressure on themselves, and there's not a lot of love in Mudville right now. But the reality is you can't feel sorry for yourself. So they've got Washington, who is winning with unreal defense. They're not scoring to save a lick. They're barely scoring over 2.2 goals a game, but they're winning. Then you got Anaheim in here, who I'm sorry, they don't have as much talent as you. But then you got Vegas and Winnipeg. Like, if the Oilers season could be over before December 1st, Terry, as crazy as that, like we saw that in Edmonton during the decade of darkness when they sucked and they did not have very good teams. The Oilers actually have talent. Right? Like, that's what's frustrating. And so I don't know how, like, I don't think they can just flip the switch at all, but my God, does somebody read the riot act? Do they need to have 2 guys throw down in the dressing room? Like, what has to happen here?
I honestly just think a major player has to be traded. I don't know what else you're going to do. I don't. I'm sitting here on Edmonton radio suggesting this. I don't know. If you're not going to win, it was dark a few years ago. Now it's doomsday. These guys are in their prime. Name me another sport that you got this kind of level of talent, upend, and you're consistently losing. I keep saying they're going to go on a 10-game run here at some point, win 8 or 9 out of it, but still, they're way behind. I don't know. I'd feel like blasphemous. Is that the word saying this? But I don't know what could they get for Draisaitl. I don't know. It's up for a contract soon. It's not working. I'm saying they probably get a lot. I'm saying that's the answer, but I'd say no one's untouchable but McDavid. I don't know. Like, you got to make a move unless you're going to keep wallowing in averageness at best or worse. Something has to happen. You tried the coach. The GM will probably be soon, but we've been through that before, right? Again and again and again. And the only thing that doesn't seem to change is the nucleus of the team. So maybe for everybody's benefit, trade somebody that's important and get Oodles back. And I don't know if it has to work better than 3 wins in 15 games or whatever it is.
Yeah, the risk, of course, of trading Draisaitl is usually in the NHL when you trade the best player, you lose the trade, right? And that's the risk there. It would be monumental. I don't think they're there yet, but trading someone else off the team, 100%. You would consider it. Like Spec said, though, he goes, right now, every trade you make is probably a crap trade because every team knows you're wallowing in it, right? Like every team right now, TR, they're just circling around. And I'm sure it's like, like a fight analogy. It's like the guys know when the other team's tougher than you, now they're going to, and the guy's like, they don't have any tough guys over there. Now you can just pick on whoever you want because you don't have to worry about it, right? Like it's an easy thing to do. Well, right now, the Oilers are the team with no tough guy going into a Royal Rumble. And the other GMs are just like, okay, sure. We'll just pick off your carcass and not going to give you anything. Oh, you got Jack Campbell? Yeah, I'll take him. You give me 2 first-rounders and blah. Like now the management built this. I don't feel sorry for them. They're the ones who built the mess. But it's it's sad to say that the more I take a step back and I look at how they're playing and everything else, I think it's really difficult to envision this team making the playoffs right now.
Yeah, and I don't want you to misunderstand. Like, I think Draisaitl is a great player and everything. It's just, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you know how often you say, like, there's certain teams, they're better by committee. The sum of the parts add up to more than what each individual part. Well, this is the opposite of that. This is, they're great players, really, no fault. Like, guys, right down, I'm not just talking about those two. I'm talking about Nugent Hopkins with 100 points last year. Hyman, I mean, hard-pressed for me to find many better two-way players of his generation. Nurse, wasn't he a Norris kind of guy a few years ago? Even now, if he plays well. Bouchard turned it on last year. I mean, these are stars. Yet, they're worse with the sum of their parts than the individual pieces. And I don't know. It's a weird, like I said, the Brooklyn Nets, I can't think of many other teams in sports that have been in this position. And, and when you look at it, the frustrating thing, it's like the weather. What do you get upset at? There's no one to point the finger at. There's, you know what I mean? Like, what do? You look at this and these mistakes. I don't know, man. I'm watching the game yesterday. I just watched the highlights. I don't know what you guys said about it. But Ekholm, I consider a smart player that's dependable. What was that drop pass? What was he doing? Like, again, this is in senior hockey. I would call that out. I don't know. Like, that was a terrible play. And then he didn't really back check like an NHLer should, and he was slightly late, and the puck goes in, and these are the mistakes they're making. So I don't know, but you could bring in Scotty Bowman in 1968, and I don't think it's going to change. I don't know. It's like I said, something has to happen. I don't know what. At this point, it got to be a player, I guess, a trade.
TR, it's fair, man. Hey, we appreciate you gutting it out with all the power outages and everything else. We'll talk to you next week. Try to get some rest. It's Thanksgiving. I would say watch the Oilers game tomorrow, but you might not want to because it's unless you like horror films, because it might be another horror film. We'll see.
We're planning on watching it. Actually, what we were saying in the room, like you said, set the standard. One of the sayings on the show is set the tone. And we were talking about the Oilers today. It comes up a lot. I'm sitting right across from Jordan Nolan every day. 2 Stanley Cups with LA and one with St. Louis. Very familiar with the Oilers and the NHL. And like we say, we're like, no one's setting the tone. It's wild. You're looking at these guys and nobody's setting the tone.
No, it's terrible. Awesome stuff, TR. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks. Catch you on the rebound. Talk soon.
There you go. That's Terry Ryan joining us in the room, brought to you by Next Gen Transportation. When we come back, it's a huge weekend in football. We'll tell you about it next on the Jason Gregor Show, live at the Canadian Ice House, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Winter weather is hard on your vehicle. Help keep it in top shape with Pennzoil Ultra Motor Oil from Jiffy Lube. Oil changes on your schedule and 25 bonus air miles with your Shell Go Plus app. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving.
Your furnace is dead. It's time to replace it before winter crushes you. Legacy Heating and Cooling is practically there already.
Yeah, we're working in your basement, doing a replacement. The work is so earnestly building your legacy.
With no payments and no interest for 1 year, you gotta call Legacy. Replacing your dying furnace before it's too late, that's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Now, if I lift this up and then hit it right here.
No, it's hit, then lift.
What are you guys doing?
We can't get this thing to work. For guaranteed same-day service, call Franco Sorgiovanni at Corporate Business Solutions before someone makes it even worse. Most issues can be resolved within 20 minutes or less. Corporate Business Solutions is an authorized Konica Minolta office equipment dealer for sales and service. Call CBS today at 780-490-5600 or visit cbsca.com.
Hey everyone, it's Kelly here from United Sport and Cycle. United's annual Black Friday sale is on now. Save up to 60% off throughout the store on great gift ideas for the sports fan on your list. United Sport and Cycle, your Santa's workshop for over 95 years.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Are you winter ready? Don't put off those repairs or maintenance to your trucks or trailers while the cold weather sets in. Call Murray's Truck Parts Locators. Get your trucks in now to make sure you don't end up stranded. From alignments to inspections and engine overhauls, Murray does it all. He can even source parts when you need them and cut down on wait times.
Call Murray's Truck Parts, 780-678-2128.
Murray's Truck Parts Locators, just minutes west of Camrose.
Looking to tackle your backyard projects with power and precision this fall? Look no further than Kubota compact tractors. Experience the perfect blend of compact size and unbeatable value with Kubota. Right now, take advantage of financing as low as 0% for up to 84 months and save up to $1,500 on select models. Plus, as the temperature drops, get ready for Alberta winters with confidence with Kubota Performance Match snowblowers, sweeper, and blades. Visit Edmonton Kubota today for details.
At Toyota, we believe you deserve a truck like the Tundra. It's a truck that's capable, reliable, and ready for adventure, just like you. A truck that's tough on the outside, yet warm and comforting on the inside. What? You know you secretly enjoy a nice warm bubble bath? Don't we all? It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2024 Tundra 4x4 Double Cab SR5 from $169 weekly for 64 months at 8.49% APR with $6,999 down. Hybrid also available. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Welcome back. Thanksgiving Day Thursday for our American friends and for many of you football fans. That's why you're here live at the Canadian Ice House watching some football. The Cowboys absolutely crushing Washington 45-10. So that leaves one game, the 49ers and the Seahawks. Will it be close? We'll find out. Come down here, see Brandon Douglas, and you can win all sorts of great prizes, including a chance to go to NFL home opener of your choice next year. Let's go in the community now, brought to you by United Sport and Cycle, and their Black Friday event starts tomorrow. Of course, if you're looking for great deals, stop in. You can save up to 60% off throughout the store, and their sale ends Sunday. So not just tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday at United Sport and cycle. And we are joined by Tim Enger from Football Alberta as the road to the Alberta Bowl concludes this weekend. Tim, long time no talk, my man. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I am excellent. So the Alberta Bowl, the games go tomorrow and Saturday. There's 12 teams at 6 different levels of play for schools of 12-man football, Tier 1. And there's one level of 6-man football, which I think is a wonderful thing because when I was in high school, our school wasn't big enough to have a football team, but we probably could have had a 12 team. Like, it just gets – ever since you guys have implemented this, have you noticed a significant increase just in the overall talent pool because you have more kids introduced to football?
Yeah, it's helped. I mean, like there's when we talk about the high schools in Alberta, there's about 300 of them in total, but the largest chunk of them, about 150 to about 160, are schools that are 100 people or less. So when you talk about football, you're right, we're in the big schools, and with the advent of 6-man, we've been able to expand to a lot of those 100-person schools. I mean, one of the more stronger schools out there is Breton. And Breton only has 60 people in the school, so pretty much every male and a couple of the females from the school make up the football team.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. So tell us about it. Where's it? It's in Red Deer, correct? And where can people go watch?
Yeah, it's Setter's Place at Great Chief Park. It's right down in the River Valley. They renovated that stadium, I don't know, about 7 or 8 years ago. So it's a really nice, tight high school football stadium. We've actually been very fortunate in a lot of communities, Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, Grand Prairie, Fort McMurray. They've all built these nice little stadiums that fit anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 people, and they're perfect for these events. And this one's really great. And so the games kick off tomorrow at 1:00 with the 6-a-side game. That one's kind of cool because we've been seeing Millwoods Christian and JC Chark from Hannah ad nauseum for the past 3 or 4 years, and they're great programs, but Hinton, of all places, has broken through this year. They upset Millwoods Christian last week to get to the final, so that'll be kind of cool to watch. And then you got your Tier 2 game right after that at 4:00. We kind of mix the tiers around, except for the Tier 1 finals. They go in the last part. So you got Tier 2 at 4 and Tier 4 at 7:00. And then the Tier 3 schools, these are the kind of the middle range schools, they go at 11:00 on Saturday, followed by the 2 Tier 1 games. And the Tier 1 games, well, people say, well, how can you have 2 Tier 1 things? Well, what they've done for years is the AS2A does a really good job of regional representation. So you want to make sure you get teams from all over the province with a chance to play in the championship games. Okay. But because it's football, you've got a lot of schools out there that there's only one Tier 1 school in the particular zone, and they're not having a great year. It's not great to send them to provincial. So they encouraged all the top schools, your Raymonds, your St. Francis's, your Harry Ainleys, to declare for the upper division, and then that still leaves a regional thing. But now your schools like Foothills, for example, out of Okotoks, who wouldn't have had a chance against St. Francis or Raymond, they get to play in this regional competition, and they will now get a chance to play against other kind of apples versus apples, and let the oranges versus oranges take care of themselves with Raymond versus Ernest Manning.
So who's in the finals?
Well, the big final, the Brian Fryer Tier 1 is Raymond and Ernest Manning. And, if you've ever been involved with high school sports whatsoever, the legend of Raymond. You watch the movie Hoosiers and kind of gives you a bit of a taste of that. But this thing happens over and over and over again. It's not a one-shot wonder. Raymond always has these runs of years when they just get the right people and the right coaches and the right passion. And the town absolutely adores their sports. So they won last year, and this year they go against Ernest Manning. Ernest Manning from Calgary is actually a really nice story because they've spent like 20 years just being a happy-go-lucky Division II team in Calgary and not even winning that. And then they made a decision a couple years ago to, with the new administration, new coaches in there, and they really upped their game. And now they're within one game of being a provincial champion at the Tier 1 level. So that one's pretty cool. A little sad. I'm an Ainley grad. Harry Ainley has been at the last 4 Alberta Bowls at the Brian Fryer Championship, and they've won a couple of them, but just wasn't their year. They did lose to Ernest Manning in the semifinal. And it's really, again, for them, I know it's too bad. I know for the rest of the province, it's like about time someone else gets to playing it. But it just goes to show you what they're doing on the south side of Edmonton. They're really running a great program there.
Well, yeah, but to me, it's better to get more programs in there because it gets more people feeling like, hey, we have a chance if we can get in.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been getting stuff all week long from Cardston, pictures of the Esso station with Go Cougars on the billboard. Like Cardston's actually was a traditionally strong program, but they haven't been anywhere near the Alberta Bowl for 10 years, and they've managed to make it at the Tier 3 level. So, that's the essence of what we're trying to quote unquote sell in high school football. Is you can get the whole community involved, and it's fun. You basically have your own little NFL in your own backyard. Teams, leagues, divisions, everybody can advance to some kind of Super Bowl somewhere, and it's really refreshing because one of the things that is also a big sale for all high school sports, not just high school football, but you mentioned it yourself. You know exactly. You went to a high school. I went to a high school. Everybody goes to a high school, so you can relate to those teams. Whereas if it's a community-based team, it's still really good sport, but people are scratching their heads with the names. Like it doesn't really mean anything. But if you went to Ross Shepherd High School, you might tend to follow what the T-Birds do past your graduation.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. As Tim Enger joins us, the road to the Alberta Cup wraps up this weekend. So, Tim, when they win the province, there's no playing BC or Saskatchewan, right? It's just you're the provincial champ and that's it?
Yeah, and then what we have for that is we have Team Alberta, Team BC. That kind of stuff takes place in the summer. So they go do their thing, and then we have a U18 bracket, a U16 bracket. But as a club, you're kind of done. I mean, here we live in Canada, and we still don't have those dome stadiums for high school football. So we kind of have to wrap it up at this stage. And I will say this, I don't want to ruffle the feathers of any environmental activist or something like this, but boys, it's been nice this fall. I mean, we're going to actually get to finish our Alberta Bowl with all of our playoffs, including league playoffs, all played in very comfortable plus temperatures. I mean, I was part of the Ardrossens crew that was playing last weekend in Sherwood Park against the very powerful Holy Rosary team, and I've never been more comfortable on a football field. In fact, we were taking off layers. It was that nice. So we're hoping for that kind of weather on Friday and Saturday, and it looks like it so far.
Awesome stuff, Tim. We look forward to it. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games.
Thanks, Jason.
That is Tim Enger from high school football. The road to the Alberta Bowl is this weekend. You heard it, tomorrow and Friday down at Setter's Place at Great Chief Park in Red Deer. And you know what? I know there's lots of people that travel all over the province to go watch and support their school or support their friends, have loads of fun. I love the fact that they have 6-man, 6-woman football now. It's amazing. Something that just smaller schools never would have had the opportunity to go to. So this just allows more opportunity. I think it's going to be better historically overall because you have more kids exposed to it. And now some of them maybe who never would have played junior football might go play junior or potentially go to CIS sports. So it's fantastic. Big shout out to everybody down here at the Canadian Ice House. If you haven't been yet, you're missing out. Stop in. It's one of the best places, not the best place in the city to watch a game, man. There's big screen TVs everywhere you go. They got shuffleboard. They got all the games, rooms. There's ample table. Brandon Douglas, the Duke, will be here tonight. 49ers and the Seahawks. Stop in. I'll buy a bevy. And you can watch the final game of the night and take a night off from the Oilers. They do play tomorrow afternoon. We will have all the coverage right here on Sports 1440 pre and post about that as well. On behalf of Declan Kruger, Connor Halley, I'm Jason Gregor. And all of our guests, go to jasongregor.com or anywhere you get your podcast to listen. Here's a comment on Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter at legacyheating.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Off day in the NHL, the Oilers are back in action tomorrow, taking on the Washington Capitals. That one gets going just after 1 o'clock Mountain Time. Off the ice, the Chicago Blackhawks. Forward Taylor Hall is expected to miss the remainder of this season after he undergoes right knee surgery. He has 4 points on the season in 10 games. He previously missed time with a shoulder injury. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they'll be without the services of John Klingberg for a little bit after he was placed on LTIR. He hasn't played since November 11th due to a hip-related injury. The Edmonton Elks have struck a committee to review their ownership structure. The goal of the 5-person committee is to ensure professional football continues to thrive in Northern Alberta. The team said in a statement earlier today. Elks interim president and CEO Rick Lelacheur, who serves on the committee as a non-voting member, said the club's financial struggles over the last several seasons can't be overlooked. We had him on this show. You can check it out at iTunes or Spotify for the full conversation. And in the NFL, 3 games on the schedule as it is American Thanksgiving. 2 finals. Cowboys beating up on the Commanders 45-10. The Packers got past the Lions 29-22. And in about 25 minutes, the Seahawks will take on division rival San Francisco 49ers. You can hang out with Brandon Douglas down at the Canadian Ice House for this one for your chance to qualify for a trip for 2 to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. They'll also qualify someone for a chance to go to the season opener of their choice in the 2024 season. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. We got Fox Sports Radio coming up at 9 and the Kevin Carrier Show tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station.